ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you. I know it's been a while, but we have families too. We have lives as well. It's been the holidays, but first of all, Happy New Year from the Flow Show. This is For the Love of Wrestling. We are your hosts, Quincy Jones Go, Brian Andrew, Young Baka. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey man, congratulations to Brian. This is the first time you've been on the show as a married man, dude.
I was thinking the same thing. You got the wedding band on? What's up?
I haven't done this even longer than some of you guys, huh? I just realized that.
Yeah, definitely, man. But it's the first time you've been on as a married man. That's why I could tell because your eyes are a little bit more dead inside.
I'm not gonna lie. I
could tell it's not the same no more.
This morning, and then I was like, I can nap, and then I woke up and I got Quincy's. I sent the link notification, and I was like, "Oh, put a hat on. Let's."
I'm always. And
I was still in here before Buck.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, it's kicking a Steelers fan now, but I'm always afraid to take a nap before a show because I know there's gonna be one time where I take a nap and I wake up and it's 11 p.m. and they're gonna blow me up about where I'm at, man. But naps are amazing, dude. I love a good nap.
That only happens to me when like I get asked to by a bunch of people to go do something.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, for sure. I just gotta get a nap in, and then I wake up. I'm like, oh shit. Well.
Yeah. You're one of those guys, huh?
I mean, it kind of works out sometimes because sometimes I'm like, man, I don't even really feel like going.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then I'm like, oh, dude, sorry, I totally just trashed out. Sorry.
Or when you make plans and that sounds great. Let's do that. That sounds amazing.
I definitely hate that.
And then the time comes, like, fuck, I got to shower, and this is bullshit. I just want to stay home and watch 60 Days In. You know.
What about the times where you have planned and then you accidentally fall asleep and then you wake up and nobody hit you up?
Yeah. Let it out, Quincy.
You're like,
let it out.
No. I'm like, you're like, yeah, we didn't want this guy to come.
Yeah, let it out, Quincy.
It didn't change the situation. In fact, it bettered the ratio. Like, yeah. No, you had a New Year's shindig, did you not?
Yeah, man. You know what? I actually bartended for the first time. The guy that owns the bar, he calls me, says, "Hey, dude, the bartender can't make it. Her son's sick. We can't open up." I said, "What do you mean can't open up? We got people coming." He said, "Well, I don't have a bartender." I said, "Oh, I'll bartend. I bartend every single. I tell him I bartend every single Sunday at a different spot. I'm not going to put the spot on blast." He says, "You do that?" I said, "Yeah, every Sunday." Quincy, I never bartended a day in my fucking life.
I could have got you a bartender.
I learned on the job. I did a great job, and I think I'm wasting my time with promoter stuff. I should have been a bartender.
See, some people would have been like, "Yo, this fool's pouring drinks for himself and not for me."
Well, that was the best part. I didn't have to pay for any drinks that night.
No. But what I'm saying is like you're putting liquor as if you're drinking it, but then the next guy's like, "Yo, I didn't need this much liquor in my."
No, I measured out. I had one of those measuring cups.
Because Baka is professional. That's
I'm a professional guy, man.
That's
man, just been holding that down. We're holding down Venice Beach every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, hey, y'all been out there for a while, man.
We've been out there every Sunday for the last 8 months.
That's your guys' little. That's the Young Baka Thunderdome out there.
Yeah, right? I bring homeless people. I bring the homeless people that are close to my spot. I bring a 6-pack of 211 and a Little Caesars pizza every single Sunday, and it's great, man. So I just have an army of
6-pack
of 211. Have you ever had 211, Quincy Jones?
I know what 211 is.
211 is like battery acid.
But I'm just laughing at that you're like, hey, here's a pizza and wash it down with this sixer, man.
No, I asked him. I said, hey, what do you guys want to drink? I'll buy you whatever you want to drink. And they said, we'll take 211. I said, dude, I'll buy you anything. You want Modelo? You want Corona? I said, no, we like 211 because 211 is cheap and it gets them jacked up. That's what they've been drinking.
No, I mean at 19, I was mean.
211, but 211 is like battery acid. Even me, I had 211 one time, man.
It wasn't bad. It was like when all you drank back then was like freaking, you'd still like your dad's Bud Light or whatever. You know what I mean?
Man, talk 2020.
Like, oh yeah, I was about to bring up the 2020. Yeah, for sure. I was like, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got hair on my chest. I'm a man.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
But no, I'm glad to see everybody came in to 2021 healthy, happy. You know what I mean? Well, I guess happy is up to you guys. But
Brian's dead behind the eyes. I'm telling you, ever since this whole marriage thing, he doesn't look the same, man.
I don't know.
I've been good.
You say that
I could take the hit, Brian. I know in the back.
He's like blink twice.
Yeah, I could take the hit, dude. How's it going in Anaheim, Brian?
It's going pretty good. We don't have Baka throwing parties, spreading COVID over here. So.
What is your address again?
I'm not telling you my address.
Okay. Cool.
Dude, by the way, speaking of which, it is wrestling related. If I'm gonna get any type of backlash, it may as well be from this show, right? We have strong opinions here on the Flow Show. Did you guys see? I don't know if you follow or are familiar with the SoCal Uncensored.
No.
I don't follow them, but I know what they are.
Yeah, they're pretty much this website. I say it loosely.
Ah,
No, for reals. I mean,
Don't they
Quincy with the body blows.
don't
no,
they
bro. They're
review and like
yeah.
recap like local shows and stuff?
Like it's this long-standing staple in the SoCal scene when it comes to indie wrestling. Like they tell, like they've long since kept records, databases, matches,
So
just information on different promotions and different events that's happened and stuff like that. But over time, different people have gotten over there, and I mean, I'm not saying it's the whole staff because they've obviously showed love when we were doing stuff with Rival too. But man, they are
tell him, Quincy.
sometimes they could just be just there's another promotion that works with the promotion I work with now. I work with Gold Coast Federation with Jamal. Shout out to him. He does the True 100 radio show every day. We got to get him on the podcast
Every day, right? Every day he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different time day and time slot, so that's how it works. But
Hey, you know what? He's a really good dude, man. He's
No,
legitimately one of the nicest people I know.
yeah, he's definitely he's a huge mastermind. He tries to get people.
Mhm.
He tries to help people as much as he can,
Yeah.
at the same time trying to figure out,
Mhm.
navigate where he's going as well. But so they work with some of the talent with OCCW. That's the other promotion I was talking about, and they had like this tweet that came out, and while I don't agree with OCCW, like the promotion, like with some of the stuff they do, like I don't mind what they do pre-pandemic, but they have been putting on shows this year or last year, I should say now, where they would actually have fans there. And this was in Orange County, you know what I mean? So I was like thinking, I mean, all the shows that GCF did, we did without fans and stuff like that because we were trying to be safe, obviously played safe. They've been doing shows with fans, though they've been doing them outside. So it hasn't been in a closed area. Again, not what I would do. I have my own opinion on it, but it's not what I'm here to publicize. Like it just was one of those things where SoCal Uncensored took to like their Twitter, and they were kind of like, first it started off as just saying like, hey, it's kind of shaming them for trying to put on a live show with audience. Which all right, cool, whatever. But then they made it a point to be like, OCCW is bottom of the barrel. They barely get any attendance, and then they're gonna do this to their talent, and then telling the talent like, hey man, it's not worth your $20 payday to get sick and all. It was just this whole thing. I'm like,
yeah, man,
bro, like, so tell us how you really feel then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's one thing to call them out. It's another thing.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. I was like, it's one thing if you're gonna call them out for what you're gonna call them out for, which is beyond important. But the fact that you got to add bottom of the barrel and they don't get any attention, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where a lot of promotions, people I talk to in different promotions, are just been sick of their shit, and it's like because again they're straying away from what they used to stand for, with the whole journalistic integrities and all that stuff. Because there's a bunch of stories I could tell, but that's not what we're here for.
You tell him, Vincent.
I will, but you know what? Let's talk best of 2020, man.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I know you would be for sure.
I am excited,
but I mean, not when we got you already, categorizing jobbers over here before we get on the air.
I don't want to talk about that on there, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a jobber, right? So can you be a former champion and a jobber? Is that possible?
Santino did it.
Okay, so we do agree that you could be both.
Santino has done it. I mean, Zack Ryder has done it.
But there's a difference between.
But Zack Ryder's a jobber, right?
But there's a difference between winning a championship and then going to a different part of the card.
Yeah,
then winning
absolutely.
a championship and
I agree 100%.
And then staying somewhat where you're at, you're just
or
not
falling down. Yeah, I mean, because one person could say, like, one person could be like, well, you know what? Eric from the War Raiders is a jobber now. Why would you say that? He's a world tag champ. Yeah, but what is he doing now? Running around for the 24/7 championship.
Yeah, I think he's a jobber now too. Right?
You know what I mean? Like, and it's all about perception. As far as like where you land on the card. Like,
listen, I would love to be a jobber in WWE. I'll do the job.
I mean, like, if I can get like if I'm gonna be a jobber, I would just want like two things. My pay guarantee.
Yep.
And a T-shirt.
And all the catering you can eat, right? I'll be one of those dudes hanging out catering, just doing my thing.
And able to use your own Twitch channel, or
and then you know what?
No, we don't do that over here.
But in my ledger, I would definitely put that everyone else eats catering, but I always get Raising Cane's. How about
there you go. That's awesome.
Since I'm taking the job, I'm doing the job. You guys get at least outsource some good chicken from a
You on edge today, Brian, right? It's a tough day. I can tell. We've been doing a podcast for how long, me and you? 3 years now? Yeah, so I can tell when you're having a tough day.
I believe the first brand split episode was like 2015.
So we've been doing this for a while. I can tell when you're having a tough day and you're having a tough day.
I'm just waking up still.
Okay.
That's all it is.
I know what to back off.
He's wondering where his invite went.
You wake up and you tarnish a great man's legacy, and then you're
don't do that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
You tell him, Brian. You tell him crazy. He's about to get crazy on you.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
Let me ask you guys this then, real quick. Is Ricochet a jobber?
Yes, Ricochet.
At this
100%.
point, I would
100%.
say so. And it's sad because former North American champion, former United States champion, but what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Like
2 to 3 months ago, right? We'll just say 2 months at this stage. He was feuding with the Hurt Business, which was a mid-card act,
and he did a job.
I was gonna say he was trading a few wins, but I think he did more jobs than wins that he got.
Is Apollo Creed a jobber? Not Apollo Creed. It's Apollo Crews.
I mean, I think when he was on Raw, he started, veering off that cliff and going down a different path. But then when they took the United States Championship off him and shipped him to SmackDown, he's just another guy now.
If his career ended today, he would be considered a jobber. His legacy would be jobber.
I would think so. I mean, the only title he won was this year. And it was the United States.
And it wasn't anything special, right?
I mean,
we could all agree that's not going to be a John Cena level.
I mean, but it's not. But you can't expect that with everybody.
I agree.
I mean? Especially now, because I don't feel like they've allowed anybody to become like that big of a star right now. I mean, and I say allowed because everything is so super micromanaged and scripted, dude.
Yeah.
Which I feel like the talent kind of suffers a little bit with that because they can be getting way over. But like when you think about it, dude, like, and I hate to, look, I'll just say it right now, rest in paradise, John Huber, a.k.a. Brodie Lee. But I was thinking, I'm like, dude, there's only so many people left. Like, there's so many people that I grew up with that are passing away in the business. I'm like, when all these guys are gone, who can say that there's an actual big star? Because, I mean, like, even next week, they're relying on all these old 80s, 90s guys for this Legends Night thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude,
once they announced that, I was like, the thing about the WWE that frustrates me is that, like, we're not stupid. We've been watching wrestling now for 20, 25 years or so. Like, even if we take breaks, it's still a long time. And we know Legends Night is basically, hey, we're gonna try to get a cheap spike in ratings, but it's not fixing the issue. You're the next week after Legends Night.
Exactly.
Is there a Legends Night coming up? I didn't know about that.
It's next. I think it's next Monday. Yeah.
Who's coming out?
Hulk Hogan.
First of all, dude.
Might be a sensitive time for the Hulk to come back.
So they had two big names, and then they followed with it. They said Hulk Hogan, Nature Boy Ric Flair, Alicia Fox.
They didn't. You're making this up.
No,
there's no way.
Bro,
no way that happened.
Bro, there's 27 names that are listed, and not all like Boogeyman. I'm like,
Boogeyman's more of a legend than
Boogeyman ain't
Alicia
no legend,
Fox.
bro.
Yeah, but more than Fox, I would give
Baka
Fox.
Like, bro, like Alicia Fox's name, the mention of her name from Tough Enough gets more clicks than her actual matches.
You have a Legends Night with 5 legends. You don't need 27. You're just paying unnecessary people. At this point.
Like that. I know you guys. I'm gonna get some flack for this. I listen to Cornette here and there, and he was saying the same thing though, because he was like, "Why do we have 27 of these legends that we're gonna cart out?" You know what I mean? He was like even thinking like Jimmy Hart. Oh, okay, that makes sense. He's like Booker T. Okay, that makes sense. Then you hear about all these other people coming out. He's like, for what? Like Tori Wilson. Is Tori Wilson a legend?
Tori Wilson's a legend.
You're gonna pay thousands.
Tori Wilson's a legend. Yes.
For what? For being another blonde that was in Playboy?
Hey, listen, he's sexist pig. I think she's she's a legend, man. She's a legend. Dude.
She was on Playboy.
But that's it. Because then.
Hold on, Brian. So if somebody's on Playboy, they can't be a legend.
Bro, but
I'm saying
what else has she done?
I gotta separate myself from this
podcast.
Hold on.
I think women are equal to men, right now, Baka. I think women are equal to men, but that's just my
Baka.
I don't know. You just kicked out some lady.
I'm trying to say I'm trying to say she was on Playboy, which makes her probably more legendary than a lot of divas at the time.
Well, but this is my counter to that is when they name her, then they name Candice Michelle. Again,
all right, yeah, Candice Michelle's not a legend.
You know what I'm saying? But she did the same thing as Tori. The only difference is she was in a GoDaddy commercial.
No, but Tori Wilson was an integral part of that women's division.
Was she really?
When WWE
I'm sorry,
was
bra and panties in the Bronco.
You know, but when WWE was popping, a lot of that was the sex appeal, though.
But she wasn't even like wrestling. Like she couldn't even wrestle.
But that's
what I'm saying.
But that's because of the time she was in the company. It's not about her skill level.
I would say it's part of. I mean, when you think about
if she could wrestle like Becky Lynch, do you think they would have put her in matches, or she still would have been in a part of
No, because back then they weren't looking for women.
Exactly, they weren't looking for that stuff.
But that's
so we can't criminalize her for that.
But no, I'm not criminalizing her. But for what she did contribute, I would not classify that anywhere near legendary. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that tuned in on Monday nights just to see Tori and Stacey.
Let me put this in perspective, and I think like this is maybe where we're gonna. You take our last decade of wrestling out of the equation because the first part sucked, and then the second part was good because we got the women's evolution and all that shit, right? Before then, though, if it's not Trish, Lita, Chyna, or anybody, Tori Wilson's not that far from being close up on top of that list of recognizable names, at least.
Yeah, 100%, man.
If it's recognizable names, absolutely. When it comes to like diva top 10 lists or whatever of all time, yeah, okay. But in terms of like calling her a legend, I'm like, well, she didn't win the title. She didn't do any other. I mean, the one thing I remember she did was she was running around Vince McMahon that whole night when Vince McMahon was trying to get it in. You know what I mean? Like.
So I guess where I'm coming from, which I wouldn't consider her a legend either, but in terms of the legends that are coming on Raw next week, she's still in the top like 15 out of the 27.
Like Jackie's supposed to be there.
Jackie's a legend, no?
I would say Jacqueline's more of a legend only because.
Jacqueline. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're thinking about
I was like, hey, Buck.
You're like, damn, they're bringing everybody back.
No, 100%. Dude, she was a badass, man.
She like Ivory's coming back.
Ivory's a legend.
100%. Yeah,
Ivory's a legend. Ivory and Jackie a legend.
And that's why I kind of like I don't want to say I'm giving Tori shit, but I'm like Tina Ferrari from Glow, Ivory, you know, like real women's wrestlers, her and Jacqueline. Then you got like Tori Wilson. It's like,
but they didn't make their name. I guess they didn't make the name in WWE, but they were wrestling before that. Like Tori Wilson is just a supermodel that became a part of WWE. You know what I'm saying?
She was married to Billy Kidman, so she was doing the management.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, he was doing well for himself in WCW, and then WWF came.
Yeah, right. And then the Rock period him, right?
And then he had to sit there and watch Tori
Wilson
run
Cruiserweight
around with
Championship
Vince McMahon. I think he did. I think he did some tag teaming with Paul London at one point. Yeah. Because they.
But I'm thinking, I'm Paul London and
Brian Kendrick. They had a
okay. I was gonna say like that wasn't the other.
No. Yeah.
Okay. My brain just.
It was short because they both did the Shooting Star, so that's all that was. It was
okay.
Like, like veteran rookie guy put together because we did the same move.
Okay, so do we want to get into some 2020 awards, or do we want to talk about?
I want to get into awards
for a second.
So, would you say, Brian? Want to talk about what?
Brodie Lee or
rest in peace to Brodie Lee, man.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Brodie Lee, like it sucked. It was untimely. I mean, a lot of people have been. It's weird. A lot of fans have been real kind of intrusive in terms of like what they feel like they deserve to know, and I get it. You know, we're the ones who have been supporting him for so long. But I'm like, look, dude, if his wife and his family requested, or even if we don't know what he said, before he left. You know what I mean? He could have wanted it a certain way. So. That's one thing I've been seeing a lot of people been, oh, you guys aren't sharing any info. I mean, look, we know it was non-COVID. We know it was a crazy like lung condition that he had.
Yeah, it was just a freak thing, right?
Yeah, but it's like everyone's like, well, if it's not this, then what is it? And it's like
the internet wrestling community,
bro.
With the builds, they want to know, right?
It was like an infection in his lungs or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but everyone's trying to come up with this conspiracy, like they're like, oh, it really is COVID, and they're just trying to cover it up. I'm like, what? Why?
Why would they cover it up? Because AEW doesn't want. Because AEW tried to cover it up. Why would the family cover it up for AEW?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't even understand. Like, from what I understand, the reason why they kept it private is because Brodie himself didn't want pictures of him in that condition coming out.
Which I understand. You don't want people to remember you like that.
That, and he didn't want his family to remember him like that. And he
100%.
didn't want his family to get unwanted attention.
Yeah.
which shows how selfless to the end he was. You know what I mean? He just, but I mean, look, like love and respect to his family. I watched the tribute. It was real touching. I mean, it
I
was amazing
cried.
to see. Yeah, I did. No, I did too. I 100%, dude.
I cried.
It
Like,
was cool to see his son. I saw a lot of backstage video of his son hitting the discus clothesline on people. Different
yeah,
guys selling for, like Adam Cole was out there. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah.
Adam Cole was out there to celebrate New Year's with his girlfriend, Britt Baker.
It's an interesting thing because this is one of the first cases where this has happened, where someone is pretty much still in their prime, has wrestled for
Yeah.
2 different companies, and still has friends in both companies. And the Steelers fan still there?
No, I have they're doing
like,
construction outside, so
I was like,
this guy just like kind of just popped in my window, so I was seeing what's up.
but I was
he's stealing a dinner plate in the background.
but yeah,
Time
I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I kind of let the tribute show pass. I was like, you know what, they're probably gonna do the 10-bell salute or something, and then they're just gonna have matches. That's why I just figured it was gonna be. I can catch up on it whenever I want. But then I started watching some recaps on it, and then like hearing about some of the stuff they did, and I even started tearing up there. And then I was like, all right, I'll watch it. And like how emotional that show was crazy.
It really, I mean, because you're right though, because when like there hasn't really been another case that, like, the only other time this has kind of happened, and I hate to bring it up, is like the Owen Hart thing, right? But like that was
Right.
a whole like freak accident thing. Like a lot of these guys who have either died in their prime, it's been like like drugs or like a car accident or something like that. But nothing like where it's been like some sort of disease or some sickness. Like something like this is I would argue probably the first of its kind.
Because even Eddie Guerrero, there was like the drugs involved.
Yeah, I mean which was like
that.
a
Chris Benoit was
yeah.
all about that.
Yeah.
And then Owen Hart was an accident, but like he wasn't a WCW wrestler. His brother was at the time.
Yeah.
So it's because like one of the cool things I thought about the tribute show, even though like when they did the tribute video, they had WWE pictures in it. Like there was just legitimately a moment of who cares about the other company at this moment? Let's pay tribute to this person's life.
I felt the same way. Like I know that there was a few times that both the WWE and AEW account were like, like commenting under the same picture or something, which whatever. We don't know who freaking works those things, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But it's the same thing like when I get a guy from 7-Eleven that walks into Circle K, everyone's like, oh shit, it's Circle K. You know what I mean? It's always the dumbest thing. But
yeah, it's the same exact thing, Quincy.
This is, the wars, the beverage, you know what I'm saying? That the gas station wars are crazy. The convenience is it's a battle for convenience out here. But like, no, but like for it's one of those things where, for one, like AEW, they've always never like they never pretended the other one didn't exist. You know what I mean? They'll obviously they've taken their shots and stuff that we like. Well, they probably would have been better off not mentioning them or whatever. But like it's weird. Like WWE, they're still refer to him as like Luke Harper. Even though like Xavier's rocking a Brodie freaking armband.
So I didn't watch SmackDown. Did they do a tribute video?
No, not that I mean I watched only the first hour of SmackDown, so I did, from what I saw, they didn't even mention it. Raw, they mentioned it, but they didn't do. That's another thing that was weird. Like Kurt Hawkins, out of everyone,
yeah, I saw that tweet.
aka Brian Myers, he kind of was trying to call out WWE for like no 10-bell salute, no tribute video. But I didn't know. I was like, maybe they didn't think they could use his likeness anymore. Since like
that might be it.
AEW, but then I'm like, I mean, I don't know if they're really pressing y'all like that about it. But I mean, I mean that's the thing. One can't argue that most of his career didn't happen in WWE. I mean, they could have at least played something that they owned, which is like Luke Harper related, right? Like,
well, not to get into too much of this, because obviously,
yeah.
But you can make the case that Brodie Lee in AEW wouldn't be Brodie Lee in AEW if it wasn't for Luke Harper.
I would definitely argue that.
So, like, you could say he had a dope indie career and all that, but if he was just an indie guy going to AEW, he probably would just be part of some faction. He wouldn't be the exalted one, Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I think the role he played in WWE definitely played a part in where they wanted him.
I was intrigued because a lot of people have been giving WWE some slack, and then I heard that they're making a tribute video or something like that. And it was
Yeah,
gonna be
it's weird.
but
It, it
I'm
just
not sure if it happened.
it's just like so it's weird because of the timing. Like first you hear about WWE actually said something, and then it's like they didn't even do anything for him on TV, and then like a couple days later you see WWE puts out a video. I think it said like WWE remembering John Huber. And so I was like, so was that because you guys were working on it, or because you guys were working on it due to like falling to public pressure? You know what I mean? You just never know with these guys. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. Is like one thing I noticed is they pick and choose. Like when Umaga, when he passed away, they didn't mention it. Like the year that it happened, usually they'll put a graphic, all that stuff. You know what I mean? But they didn't mention it.
The thing about
but now over the years they'll mention them. It's weird.
The WWE is that we've been conditioned to always doubt that they'll do the right thing.
No, and that's kind of their fault.
Right. And the AEW, it's not like they've conditioned us that they'll do the right thing. It's just time after time they kind of do. And we kind of look, and then like, for example, doing a tribute show, like that's really cool. But then when I find out all the stuff they did, like retiring his boots, giving his son the TNT championship.
The fact that they did not only that, but they're retiring that championship for him, and they're going to come out with a brand new design. I thought that was kind of cool.
Right.
I
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Brodie Lee Memorial Tournament next year or something like that.
I was thinking the same thing. Like something, because the one thing that did surprise me about the tribute is Eric Rowan showed up. Did you see that?
And they even called him Eric Rowan, which was like, I love Chris Jericho in commentary because
he was pissing me off that because even when Lance Archer showed up in the old school Brodie garb, because what Luke Harper wore. That's what Brodie wore on the Indies. Like, that's just his look. So
and in the Indies it was cleaner looking, like the one that Luke.
But the thing that got me was you hear Jericho like, oh, you see Lance with a tribute for his character from the other company. I'm like, no, dude, he's being Brodie from before he was even in the big leagues. And I was like, okay, Jericho doesn't know who Brodie is before AEW or WWE. He doesn't know anyone before Luke Harper, but. That I was like, dude, why are you it was just weird. I'm like, stop talking about the other company. You know what I mean? I was like, it's not
because he makes it about himself, and because he feels like it's WWE against Chris Jericho. So he feels instead of honoring. Listen, I love Chris Jericho and I love his Maverick style, but it's all about him and how Vince didn't sign him and how he's doing this and
because I got that kind of like, I'm not gonna again, we're not gonna keep picking freaking holes here and there in the logic, but I'm not gonna lie, when they showed Jericho talking about when he's talking about his everyone was doing like a little video tribute to Brodie on the show, and then you got him talking about it, and then it was almost like he had so many cuts in his. I was like, why couldn't it just come off natural? You know what I mean? A, and then B, like he couldn't resist saying, I'm the one who helped bring him in here in AEW. I'm like, of course you have to say that. Like this isn't about that right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like you say that purposely because you don't want to talk about how you know him and it's from WWE. And it's like, it is what it is, dude.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, and that's my point. It's like there's nothing wrong with that because that's how you know.
That's how you know a lot of these guys.
If that's where you met somebody, that's where you met somebody. You can't help that.
That's how you met Moxley. That's how you met a lot of these guys that you came to try to bring up. You know what I mean? So it's like
Chris Jericho does Fozzy all year and then comes back and does a WWE cameo for the last part of the decade. Like, to be honest, that's probably all he knows. He's probably not that in depth in the indie scene outside of
of course not.
The big guns like Kenny Omega and all that. And
of course not.
When he felt like he could make a paycheck doing New Japan, that's probably when he really started getting into the indie scene. But Luke Harper was already Luke Harper by that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, and he what do you say? Like, I worked with him like 27 times and yada yada. I mean, so I was like, the guy, but I'm like, dude, just tell a story. You don't have to sit there and be like, I'm the one who came and brought him in aid, yada yada yada. But
that was story. Like, remember Stephanie told that story after 9/11.
She said,
my family has gone through drama too before in the past. We've had controversy in the past too.
Yeah, that was so, dude. That was such a.
I think about that once a day.
Hey, thank you for bringing that up because I totally forgot.
About it once a day.
No, dude, I'm gonna think about it once a day now.
Some people just have a tough time with it. Like, I don't want to give Chris Jericho too much shit for it.
Yeah.
But I think he tried to come across as like, I'm not gonna cry over it. kind of person. Like everyone's gonna cry, so I'm gonna try not to cry.
I mean, on commentary, it seemed like he was trying to bring the positive energy more than keep it solemn. So yeah, I'll give you that.
But at the same time, I could see like, yeah, it wasn't very like there's certain people that I was looking at, and I was just like, there's people that you could tell were extremely close to him, and some people
100%,
that were just like, oh, that was my coworker kind of.
And naturally, you're not going to be close to everybody. If you're close to everybody, you're not close to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't expect Chris Jericho, who, like you said, he was doing Fozzy gigs the whole year, and then he'll come the last, couple months of WWE. I don't expect him to be best friends with everybody. It just doesn't work out like that.
Are you saying that just because he interviews them on a show that they're not like besties?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you mean?
That's the thing I hate about
How is that possible?
When people die, everybody's all of a sudden the best friend on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, we did this, but you can't be best friends with everybody.
I've seen that and I felt a certain way, but this feels real. Like the fact that he had so many people coming out and sharing stories, I felt were a little bit way more genuine than everyone else.
Oh, you know what? It seemed like he was, It seemed like he was down with the brothers, man. It seemed like he was really down with the brothers, man.
Bro, I got a story for you that I heard. And
that's the least person I would expect to be down with
that involves your boy.
He seems like he says boy a lot,
Well, this guy's from New York, dude.
He's from Rochester.
But does he look like, if I'm a casual wrestling fan, which I am, I don't expect that,
Well, one thing.
And Rochester ain't the five boroughs, too,
One of my favorite facts about him is knowing that he's the guy that introduced Randy Orton to Kendrick Lamar. And I'm
that's dope.
And it was on some, one of the European trips, and I'm like, I need to know how this story went.
Yeah,
I would love to have been a fly on the wall.
Randy Orton, hey, based on the fact that I'm a WWE employee, I can't talk about anything that's not WWE related.
Yeah.
Dude,
I can only talk about the Mandalorian.
Even though he just put out a tweet that said, like, yeah, I know I just burned a man alive, and I can't be trusted, but trust me, you don't want to sleep on the Mandalorian. I'm already falling in love after season 1. Hashtag Baby Yoda. I was like, fucking Randy, dude.
I love Randy, man. He's the man, dude.
Well, all right. Well, since we're going to start it off like that, is he would you say he'd be the male superstar of the year?
I would have to give it the true. I would have to give it a true. And I would love to give it to Roman, but Roman was he was
I
gone
felt
for
I felt like he was,
of the year.
I was gonna say he only was maybe 5 months.
Yeah, I don't think it was 5 months.
Maybe 4, just 4 months.
Yeah,
I agree with you that it's probably Drew, but like, it seems like Drew got it based on
default.
Yeah, does that make sense? Like,
I
won the Rumble, won the title.
Yeah, I mean,
lost the title, won the title.
He technically had the biggest year.
Stayed on top, but not. But he wasn't the most.
I mean, 2 title reigns
week after week.
I would say that he was there week after week most times if he wasn't selling the jaw or whatever it was. He may even be like MVP just because he was there almost, all the time.
Like that's the thing about Roman. Roman's had a great last 3 months, but again, it's 3 months out of 12. You can't win MVP for that.
What about Jon Moxley? I know you love Jon Moxley so much.
I don't think Jon Moxley had as much impact as Drew
on
McIntyre
paper,
did.
yeah, but
because I was thinking almost the same.
Well.
He almost has the same kind of circumstances as Drew as far as being the guy during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to be the guy during the pandemic, especially the first few months when they're trying to figure it out. Drew McIntyre wins the title at WrestleMania. It doesn't seem like a big deal at all because it's in an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
That's before they had the Thunderdome.
I think McIntyre may have had it worse because he had a whole planned out, he knew he was going to Mania before, never trying to figure everything out before it even showed up.
John was already champion.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just you have this big moment, and I feel bad for the guy. It's hard to say you feel bad for a guy that's a supermodel and he makes all this money, but I feel bad for him that he's been working hard for this to get main event Mania and win the title, and he has to do it in front of nobody. You know what I'm saying? And it's a scary time. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
I think a lot of people naturally have this feeling of like, all right, Drew McIntyre is the guy, but like we want to see it now with fans, and I think a lot of people are reserving themselves to see if the WWE still keep him on top.
I was thinking about that though, but WWE, this is what WWE would do. The first moment they would be able to get fans back, they would turn him heel. They would turn him heel just so he can say, like, I did it the whole year without you guys.
But they could have fans. They decided not to have fans. They could have fans.
Yeah.
You ever seen a Bucks game? There's 10,000 people in the stadium.
No, trust me. I've been even a lot of the football games, a lot of the baseball games too.
I guarantee
the Dolphins game is like half full.
But that's all the time.
I guarantee. I guarantee you, the Royal Rumble will have fans. I think it will be
Yeah.
at Tropicana, and they'll have a different setup than a
They had.
Thunderdome.
I mean, dude, because when you think about it, you're like, okay, so this is gonna be the first year that Royal Rumble has no surprises. Because who's it for? Nobody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I'm
even
listen. If we're being honest, I'm surprised they haven't had fans yet, man.
it is kind of.
AEW has
fans.
fans.
I mean, they've been. I mean, the only time they've had fans is what on NXT, quote unquote, because they use the recruits.
Yeah.
Which it has added to the product. And like the thing that I can't stand is just the piped in. Because this is the thing.
You like the piped in noise?
I'm watching SmackDown, and then Roman Reigns starts the night, and then he's there for a while, and I'm watching because I'm watching him basking in the booze, and then I had to remember, oh, these aren't even real booze. Like he's not even this.
Right.
We don't even know if he's this good of a heel. Like I mean, I think so, but it's like I forgot.
They do delay the disbelief for a second though. You actually have to think that there's no fans sometimes.
Yeah. It's not until I see the Thunderdome or the
Mm.
fans behind. I'm like, oh, I forgot.
I don't think the WWE wants half-ass fans on the hard cam.
No, I've literally seen them change somebody's screen while a match is going on. Like there was a guy, there was a guy who was kind of like this, and then they switched it to like a girl, like a young girl.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to pull off like a half Thunderdome, half fans thing, and then the Thunderdome's the hard cam. And
I can see that
because I don't understand at this stage why they haven't tried the AEW approach by having the Titantron in the background and then having fans.
Yeah, I'm shocked they haven't had fans yet, man.
But
it may have to do with the
Kevin Dunn, maybe, I don't know.
That it could be. I feel like Vince is trying to be safe because I know like Brian, you saw a few of the obviously we did the KJS year-end awards and some of the awards that they were first time awards, like we did like most hated, and I threw Vince on there, and my brother was like, was he hated? I'm like, I don't know, man. You think about all the stuff that WWE was taking like headline wise this year or last year, like Vince was definitely getting like fingers pointed at him and shit, right? So it's like I feel like and because he knows that, especially when it came to the COVID shit, because everyone was already like accusing them of paying off the Florida officials or even still,
Well, that happened. That did happen.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like,
hey, but AEW benefited from too, right? AEW, they were able to keep going.
I'll put it like this: we know Tony Khan got money, so I don't think he's the only one that greased the wheel.
I hear you.
Well, you know what I mean? So,
I've gone half and half before.
Let's put it this way: if we're gonna put the foil caps on now, it could be that Vince saw and he notices that now Biden's gonna be president. You can't just pay off certain people. You can't influence certain people.
Yeah, and Biden never got paid off.
And
those
Biden,
two people never got paid off before.
And then Biden might this Democratic administration might just be like, well, look at the WWE, and WWE could be like, well, we work, but we don't have fans. We're the ones who are safer than the competition, to be honest.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's more of like a liability.
Kamala Harris never got paid off before.
Are you telling me that Joe Biden has never touched the kid?
Yeah.
And never had to pay? No, it's fine. I guess I shouldn't start 2021 off with the new president libel talk, right? But, as far as let's get back on topic here. Male wrestler of the year. I would
Drew. My focus for Drew.
I would think it would be. See, for me, it's either Drew or Randy, because I would argue that Randy did a lot of his best work this year too.
Just because you do your best work doesn't mean you're the best wrestler.
I don't know. He kept saying he was the best numerous times this year, so it's kind of.
All right, we'll see here.
We agree. Like Randy Keith Orton's top 10.
Yeah,
DOA, Dead or Alive.
I would believe
100%, man.
Well, let's break this down. Okay, so Drew McIntyre wins the Royal Rumble, and then he wins the title against Brock. Then he kind of has good feuds, but they're and then he loses the title to Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, and then he's basically just in a feud with like I don't know what's going on with that shit going on right now. Keith Lee, Sheamus, I don't know, and then Randy Orton doesn't do much, but he does. He has that moment where he turns on Edge. Then they have that really long fucking match at WrestleMania. Then they have the greatest wrestling match of all time, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, greatest match.
And then he goes on that 4 month. So you can look at Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre and say they both were in the same feud with each other for like 4 months at one point. And
I mean, they both have some impactful stuff. Between like you said, the stuff with Edge,
In
And
terms of
then
accolades, like in terms of stuff,
accolades. I mean, he
it's Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
Champion
I would think
twice.
so. Yeah, I was gonna
Champion
say
twice, represented Raw at Survivor Series, won the Royal
lost,
Rumble.
but he lost.
Randy Orton, all he did was feud with Edge for half a year, and then had 2 matches that were extremely overrated. That I'm not saying the greatest wrestling match ever was bad, but it was not the greatest wrestling match ever.
I mean, it was better than their
So
WrestleMania match for sure. But
all he
yeah,
did was injure Edge. Like,
I mean, and they stayed in the ring, so there was that too. Yeah, so
yeah, he had to do to win the match.
But yeah, no, I would agree it's Drew. I would agree it's Drew.
I
was trying to think of like I said, John Moxley. I mean, he came into the pandemic with the championship. I would like to say he helped elevate that championship, but at the same time, there were some issues with his booking, as far as who he was going against and how they were. They were. But we've had multiple conversations about some of these matches.
real quick. Are these part of like the Quincy Jones Awards, or are these our own? And are we voting like 2 out of 3 votes gets the person who we voted for on this?
I honestly, I mean, some of.
Are we just talking? Are we just talking?
Yeah. I was gonna say some of the nominations ideas. Obviously, I'm drawing from that, but that's why I wanted to talk to you guys to figure out how you guys, your guys' point of view as well. But
why isn't like Quincy? Not Quincy. What the fuck was it? Kenny Omega in the discussion?
Because he took a back seat the whole year. That's why
he didn't take a back seat at the beginning. He was tag team champion.
I was about to bring him up.
I'm sorry. A tag team champion makes you superstar of the year.
No, question, but
champion though
had possibly the best match of the year in that tag team match with the Young Bucks.
I think Kenny Omega's the best out of all of them, but he did take a back seat.
Let's talk about accolades, because he didn't win the Royal Rumble. The AEW doesn't have that, so
I'm saying he took a back seat to his own company.
But he won the tag team champions. Or he didn't win them this year, but he was tag team champion. Had possibly the best match of the year against the Young Bucks. Went on to win a tournament to be number 1 contender against Hangman Page. Won the championship and had the most talked about story in December, which is the toughest month to have a story in wrestling.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think the stuff that Drew McIntyre overshadows all of that. And Kenny Omega could have been the superstar of the year because he's obviously the best wrestler out of all of them, but he took a back seat to the main event card.
Well, I mean,
he was in the main event for the last 3-4 months.
I was gonna say there's
I don't think it's the last 3 months. When did he win the championship?
He won it in December, but you don't have to win the championship to be in the main event.
No, was it November?
It had to be November.
No, it was December. No, you're right, because I'm thinking November was Full Gear, but he didn't win it until like the first during Winter's Coming.
Has he main evented one of his own pay-per-views?
I was gonna say he's I don't know pay-per-view. I was gonna say I know he definitely. He's main evented quite a few Dynamites this year though, or last year, because of the tag championships.
But has he main evented the pay-per-view in his own company? Well, he's chief executive promotion.
He did not in 2020, but he has.
That's okay. We're talking about the superstar of the year in 2020. For the year of 2020, did he main event a pay-per-view?
But he's had the best match on the card and
I'm not arguing that. I'm just asking, has he main evented?
Well, that's a card placement thing, not necessarily on his.
But I thought AEW,
because Drew McIntyre's been Drew McIntyre's WWE champion, but he takes a backseat to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be on an equal playing field. That's why.
Let me ask you this, Baca. I mean, so if you're in the main event, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you have the best match.
I agree 100%.
Because if there's,
I just think it's gonna be tough to award somebody superstar of the year when they haven't.
What I'll give you credit for is I feel like more people were talking about Kenny Omega the last month than throughout most of the year. I mean, if they were talking,
and he had a killer month, man.
And not to say people weren't appreciating the tag run. A lot of people were wanting him to go solo and do the, So
that's what I wanted.
I think both wrestlers book in. That's what I'm just trying to say. Drew McIntyre probably had the most interesting January.
Yeah,
and
that's true. Yeah,
Kenny Omega had the most interesting December. And what they did in the middle is Kenny Omega got up to that most interesting December, which you can make the case Drew McIntyre, as good as he's been, after there was no fans, he kind of just stayed stagnant, and he kind of won by default, like we said. Like, just based on the accolades and being the main event guy on Raw and staying that way, he's the male superstar of the year, which I'm voting for Drew McIntyre. I just think Kenny Omega should be in the conversation because he had the more interesting year by far.
Storyline wise, I would say so. Like creatively, I would say so. Because even if he wasn't the main focus, he was still doing a lot of storyline work that would get you to the next week. Between whether it's between him and Paige or him and going through the tournament, him and the Bucks. Like, yeah, I'll definitely give you that because even now we're actually watching Impact because of him, right?
Yep. Listen, Kenny Omega did great. He had a great last 2 months, but I don't see how you give somebody
Like for the whole year,
for the whole year. For being the tag champ, man.
I would have to vote Drew on that one as well. I mean, but yeah, let's move on. What about female wrestler of the year? I mean, I would dare say Bayley.
I think it's Bayley.
I mean,
I saw that you posted this on your IG, and I was surprised you didn't even nominate Sasha.
Why? She spent most of the year playing backseat to Bayley.
We could say the same thing about Kenny Omega. We could say the same thing about Roman Reigns. He was only in the
Sasha was only great at Hell in a Cell this year. That's it.
I'll
really?
You nominated 6 women and she's not even top 6. You saying?
I didn't say that she wouldn't be in the. Well, she didn't do anything to be in the top 6.
I disagree, but
what did she?
I would give Bacchus.
She wanted. She can't say she's not top 6. She won the championship.
Yeah, but so did Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. None of them were on there.
They won a tag team championship.
Exactly. That's all Sasha did. But besides winning,
man.
Dude, like you can't. It's the same thing.
Sasha and Bayley.
Bro, it's literally the same.
SmackDown all time.
Bro.
Hold on.
Sasha Banks is the same. It's the same swan song you're singing about Kenny. Took a back seat from the main event, and it's not until the very end she got the champ. It's the same thing.
But did you nominate Kenny?
Did I nominate Kenny for?
Did you put Kenny in top 6 superstars of the year?
I think he was at the end. I had to add him. Yeah, we only had 5.
So then we should add Sasha.
Well, hold on. Who are the 6 women before we decide?
It's Bayley, Io Shirai, who else?
That gave me a good sign.
Bayley, Io Shirai, because I don't have it in front of me. I think actually I have it on my notes right here. Bayley, Io Shirai. I know I put Hikaru Shida just for kicks because I was like, I got to put somebody from AEW on there.
Well, she deserves to be on there technically.
Above Sasha Banks?
Deonna Purrazzo, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley.
You can take everyone from AEW out. That's number 1.
There's
right?
only one.
AEW, okay.
Shida deserves to be on there. She was the champion.
Above Sasha Banks in a promotion that doesn't focus on women's wrestling at all?
Well, you just talked about Sasha won the championship. Hikaru Shida's been champ all year. No one's beat her.
Yeah, because she doesn't have a good promotion that focuses on women's wrestling.
Well, still, you should still include her.
But you have to include Sasha if you want to include her.
I guess the one that I would probably replace at this stage, even though she had probably the most high-profile match against Charlotte, would be Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, the only reason I put her in is because I felt like if I didn't even name her, that people would go Young Baka on me, and but it's I
agree with both of you because I agree that to be honest, the Sasha Bayley thing was carried in my opinion entirely by Bayley.
That's how I feel too. I felt like Sasha kind of just rode her coattails most of the year.
I could see though. And to be honest, this is what would happen is Bayley would lose votes because people are going to vote for Sasha too because I think they naturally just like Sasha better. But with Sasha, to be honest, you are that is true because to be honest, she's been champion I think since October at this stage or something like that, and her feud with Carmella is okay, but it's not
special. I agree with that. It's not special.
And to be honest with you, you can make the case Asuka deserves to be on the list above Sasha and Rhea Ripley.
I felt like people were talking about Asuka a little bit more this year. I mean, even if she was way more entertaining. I mean, Sasha
was part of that, but it was Bayley for sure. And
I felt like it was Bayley. To me, if it would be between Bayley and Io because I felt like both were putting up numbers in terms of match quality, and Bayley I felt like really added more stock to her name. Not only is just a heel, but the fact that they allowed her to run with the championship that long, and
Right.
You know, I feel like she did a lot for her character as well. You know, so
And Io Shirai deserves to be on the list, but I could see her just not getting. Some people might vote for her. She's been champion all year. She's had some good matches, but to be honest, like it hasn't been anything of note compared to some of the other people on this list. She's kind of like in the Sheeta mode, like been
true.
champion. That's why she's on the list.
I
But
mean,
not,
she started off by beating who was it? It was a triple threat. It was Charlotte and Rhea, right, to win the
yeah.
title in the. Oh yeah, it was at In Your House.
Did she didn't even pin Charlotte, did she?
I don't think so.
No, Charlotte never got pinned.
Mm-hmm.
No. Because
If she pins Charlotte, I think you can make a stronger case. But she does deserve to be on the list.
Because this is the only I felt like if I put Sasha on there, that I was gonna have to put Charlotte, and I'm like, well, Charlotte, I wouldn't put Charlotte on there because she was gone for like 6 months, for like the whole summer she was gone.
Yeah.
I think you missed this one, Quincy. I think you missed it.
Oh.
I think you take the
When
shit
did
from
Sasha
AEW
come
off.
back?
I mean, what Sasha, she came. Fuck, I don't know.
Hell in a Cell. You think she had the best Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell?
I think I don't know between her and I mean I couldn't say it's
No,
better.
Roman and Jay did.
Both,
yeah,
you're right.
Both were probably the best Hell in a Cell matches in the last probably 2-3 years.
That alone deserves to put on the list over this chick from AEW who hasn't done anything.
Well, that's a whole nother. I got a match of the year.
But it's a whole year thing, not just one match.
I agree. But that girl from AEW hasn't done anything.
Like, to be honest, Sasha's just been the person that Asuka has had to beat so Asuka could face Bailey at certain points. Does that make sense? Like, it hasn't really been.
Yeah, I know what you. Yeah. I mean, trust me, I would have loved to put someone like Britt Baker on here, but she's been hurt most of the year.
And to be honest with you, like, Sasha didn't do anything till they won the tag titles. And then even then, it was still a month.
Seems like they won the tag titles 20 years ago, man. It had to be like, what, March?
Yeah.
And then they had a great run, and they had a great feud, and then Sasha won the title.
I don't think it was March. I don't think they held them that long.
But I feel like they won them like
they held them forever, man.
April or May.
Yeah, I think it was post Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had them through the summer, dropped them,
and then her and Bailey.
And then they started feuding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, I think people think Sasha should be on the list because of her affiliation with Bailey, more so than Sasha actually having the best year out of all these women. If that makes sense.
But see, in my defense, I would think that Bailey had a great year, but I wouldn't say that Sasha was because of that. I mean, she added, I guess, a little bit to it, but I mean, like you said, even when she was doing the tag stuff, like Bailey was the one that was pretty much the anchor on that. Like,
and if they're continuing the story where like Sasha ends up facing Bailey at WrestleMania and etc., then I think next year when we're doing these awards, even if Sasha has an off last 4 or 5 months, then we'll probably look into it and be like, no, Sasha deserves to be on the list because of that story. The thing is, the story's not done yet. Like,
I was like, I mean, one could say that she didn't do anything this year, but it was just slow burn, booking. But I'm like, I don't know.
I agree. I do believe Sasha probably deserves to be on the list over Rhea, but at the same time,
even if I botched the list, Baka, I mean,
I still think Bailey. I was
gonna say
the women's superstar of the year, but I think that Sasha deserves to at least be nominated.
All right. Well, how about this tag team of the year? This is a short list because there's not a whole lot of tag teams. You know what I mean? They keep breaking them up. I got
Street Profits for me, man.
I got the Street Profits. I got Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Undisputed Era, and FTR. Me and my brother purposely did not put the Young Bucks on here because we feel like they didn't have a full year's worth, or worthy of.
Wasn't somebody like hurt for like 4 months? And
Nick was, and then what's his name? I mean, shit, I don't know. This is weird. Like they just weren't as consistent this year. They had moments, but. And cool matches.
Well, because they were focusing on the company too.
Yeah, they were putting people over, and then all of a sudden they won the titles. Like the last month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I mean,
even since then, dude, I don't know, something about the Young Bucks. It's just them. Sometimes it's just irritable on how they book themselves. I understand they're trying to put their tag team division over, but like. You don't have to do it from the bottom up. Like, there's still some people in the middle of that tag team division that still has not gotten their moment yet.
No, dude. Like they'll get like one match out the year on the main show, but then you'll have to catch them on Dark or something. And it's like, like you guys need to start cycling. Having a better mix up of how we we put together these matches, because I know there's people who want to see different other teams, but I would vote for the Street Profits on this. I mean, I feel like Undisputed did more of a group thing than they. I mean, they held the titles, but they held them just to kind of lose them.
Technically speaking, I'm going to throw this out there, and that's funny because I believe I voted for Hangman and Kenny Omega because in my opinion, they were the most exciting tag team of the year, and they had the best match of the year. If you're not going to have Young Bucks on the list, then at least the best match of the year who's going to win, right? Street Profits have been champions, and credit to them, but they have not done. Were they NXT champions also this year?
Not this year.
Okay.
Well, wait, when did they go to the main roster? Was that 2020?
They went up last year, but I believe they were still in NXT for a certain period of time. That's why I'm asking.
Shit, if they were every champion in 1 year, that's pretty. I mean, I knew that they got the.
If that is the case, then maybe I'll switch my vote.
I have to double check that myself right now. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I feel like in terms of being able to dependability. I mean, again, this year was weird. I felt like they were working on a week-by-week basis on the shows. Not to mention they were working with a lesser staff because they got rid of 50 people. Mm-hmm. So it's like they were leaning on the same kinds of the same cast, so to speak, for each show. And I feel like the Profits were. I mean, they were what if. They were probably featured as many times as the Hurt Business this year on TV.
I think you talk about exciting matches. I love watching the Street Profits wrestle, man. I really do. I think it was super exciting.
But let me ask you this, Baga, because
if they were white, would I like them? Maybe not.
In my criteria right now, I'm looking at moments, accolades, and matches. There's not a match of note, in my opinion, that the Street Profits had this year.
Not like the Kenny Omega and Hangman Page match that they had.
But they had the accolades over everybody else.
Yeah, they jumped to the main roster 2019.
But were they NXT champions in 2020 at all?
No, because
when did they drop those titles?
Let me see.
Because they were on Raw while being NXT champions.
It was August 15th, 2019.
They dropped the titles that. Okay.
Yeah. It was a taping of NXT. They dropped them to O'Reilly and Fish.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But you talk about dependability. They were asking to be every single week, and they were, man. They had some exciting matches. They had some great moments that were for IG. You would see a little clip of this guy doing some crazy move I can't announce, and it was awesome.
We can't forget about their whole their whole battle and their program with the War Raiders.
I think that brings it down a little bit.
You forgot about that.
That was so bad.
You got to take.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed some of it, and I thought some of it was really.
There was some moments that were funny, and then most of it was just extremely corny.
Are you? What you talking about? Axe throwing, fam? You went.
Nah, man.
Axe throwing season.
So the Undisputed Era, I don't think should be on there because they've had better years. I don't know if that's enough.
And that was more of a faction thing as well.
That's why I was saying earlier. I feel like they kind of had more of an Avengers type feel than you know what I mean, than just a duo type of thing. But
so let me ask you guys this one though, because
but if you guys have someone else in mind, by all means.
No, I go with the Street Profits. I think Street Profits had a great year.
No, well, let me ask you. It's not going to be the New Day.
Yeah, I didn't.
Not New Day. No.
What about? So they're on the list. What about FTR?
I feel like it's weird because the reason why I don't give them a vote is is they had great matches. I love watching them work tag team wrestling, right? But I feel like they only had a good 5 months, maybe 6 months this year.
Let me ask, but they were champions in two different companies, I believe, in the same year.
I don't think they were champions this year.
They were not champions in 2020 at all.
In AEW champions, yeah, but I believe that didn't they get their because they were off TV and they got their release.
They were off TV release, but I want to say they won the titles at an odd Raw in February or some shit.
I don't think so, bud.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It was a long year.
Yeah.
No, I do. Yeah,
longest year ever. Yeah.
There's still stuff that I'm like, I got because we did a cinematic match of the year. And even when we talked about it, we brought up the Stadium Stampede. We're like, no, that was last year. That was last year. Yeah. No, that was this year. That was at Double or Nothing. And I was like, oh shit, we totally forgot to put that on there. And I'm like, yeah. It is what it is.
All right, let's see here. Reigns, list of Raw Tag Team Champions, title history.
I'm just on the FTR Wikipedia page.
Yeah, but does it usually tell you what time?
Let me see. SmackDown champions.
All All right, so they weren't Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, they got granted their release in April.
Yeah, but they were off TV at least during WrestleMania season. But I believe they were on TV around the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it says that they lost. Yeah, they were in. At the end of January, they were on an episode of SmackDown. Lost to Miz and Morrison tag team fatal 4-way match. Yeah, okay. I think that was the last time they were on because it says the winner of that match would have earned a tag team championship match at Super Showdown. And yeah, it said that would be the Revival's final televised match in WWE.
All right, so they weren't. Okay, never mind.
No, it's fine.
Their AEW. I'll be honest. Their TV stuff has been.
Yeah, their in ring. That's it writes itself. But yeah, I want to see more from them. I really do.
For having so many exciting tag teams.
I'm a huge fan of theirs, but I still want to see more from them.
For having so many exciting tag teams in wrestling right now, this has been a really off year then. Because to be honest, like this is another situation. Street Profits probably just got it by default.
Well, because I was even thinking, I'm like, are we gonna give it to Breezango because they won the finally? No. Like, no. Are we gonna give it to Oni and Birch because they finally won and they're doing stuff with Pat McAfee?
Maybe.
No, that's not. But it's not a year long,
right?
Type of thing. Like that's why it was just like, well, the Street Profits were on a pretty steady, as far as being featured.
Let me ask you this then: are the Young Bucks not on there? Is it because you couldn't find like a 6 legit tag team, or is it they're just not on there?
No, I mean we discussed it on the show, and then we were just like, yeah, I just don't feel like they. I mean, it's the popular name to put, but yeah, I don't think they did anything worthy, like tag team of the year worthy, besides win the championships.
They had the 2 probably best matches.
They put out a book. There's that.
They have 2 top 5 matches. They won the tag titles.
Yeah.
They were at least half-ass on TV, even if they weren't really, because like even FTR had to take a break during the release period. I
mean, they actually got a 6-star match rating for that match against Hangman and Omega, which is.
I'm not the biggest Young Buck apologist. I'll be honest with you, because I'm not saying they're overrated, but I don't like. Sometimes I feel like a lot of people put a lot of stake in them, and I think like they still. In my opinion, seem a little green in some of their like promo work and all that jazz.
Oh, promo work, they're for sure. Like they're not Ric Flair by a mile. You know what I mean? But like, I agree with. I'm a huge fan of the Bucks. Similar story with them and me, my brother, as far as like being SoCal and trying to make some work. So I have a lot of stuff that I do. I won't say there's a bias, but I can identify with them in certain aspects. But even saying that, I say that to say it definitely feels like everyone's just trying to catch up and putting a lot on their name right now just because of the AEW thing.
Right.
I just used to love going to an ROH event or a New Japan event. I'm like, oh shit, the Bucks are on there. Who are they going against?
Listen, I love the Bucks, man. You're talking to a guy that has Young Buck pajama bottoms, dude. I love the Bucks, but you can't say that they had a better year in the Street Profits.
No, not at all. Yeah, and then that's the main point is like
I just don't feel like the Street Profits did anything of note this year. Like they won the titles and then they become SmackDown champions because the titles switched hands, but they didn't do anything.
I mean, you had Montez got poisoned.
They had a 7-year feud with fucking
Andrade
the Mexicans
and Angel Garza.
Like it just like in my opinion, it should just be a fucking walk.
But who else did something? But who else did? There has to be somebody.
I mean, see, because it's not.
I would say the Young Bucks had a better year technically.
Ah, man.
I don't know.
Two 5+ star matches at least, and then they became tag champions as well. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're being lenient on some of these guys. I mean, because I feel like consistently. It's hard because they were doing slow burn. I mean, just the booking they were doing with the attitudes and stuff. It wavered for me. It wasn't like I wasn't.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying the Young Bucks had the best TV run by having a Big Show.
Okay, when you say like TV, when you do put it in the words of like a TV run, I mean, like I said, Street Profits can have a great match all the time.
They can. I enjoy the Street Profits. It sounds like I'm shitting on them, but like in my opinion, in terms of doing anything of note, what have they done?
They just became
They became tag
They
champions.
just became Grand Slam champions. No big deal.
Yeah.
They became champions and state champions. That's all they really did.
They got Ric Flair saying he wants to.
They got half-ass put in the Seth Rollins feud a few times. That's about it.
But you know what? It is hard to become champ and state champ for the full year. So
that's true. I'll give him that. So okay, you know what?
You make it seem like it's boring to watch the Street Profits. I love watching the Street Profits matches, man.
I just like, in my opinion, like it's just like, you know.
And I'm a casual fan who doesn't really enjoy a lot of like actual wrestling, like in-ring work. I love watching Street Profits, man. They always pop me.
I just feel like there's not another tag team that's been relevant enough to take the titles off of them. Is that really on the Street Profits, or is that how good the Street Profits are, or is that how bad the rest of the division is?
But don't penalize them for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, it doesn't hurt that they keep breaking up tag teams, right? And then they have to like put guys together, like freaking Ziggler and Rude. You know what I mean? Like
until the Usos come back. If the Usos come back as a tag team, then and then the Street Profits tore the house down against them and kept on being champion. Then in 2021, I you can make the case.
Well, you know what? The match that they had with New Day was really good.
It was amazing, man. Amazing.
It was a really good match.
It was amazing.
But if we're going based on matches,
I mean, yeah, because
you have the other tag team, the FTR match.
It's like the match with New Day compared to like the match that they had with FTR or
the thing the reason Kenny Omega and Hangman's probably not it, even though I do think they had technically a better year, is just they were only a tag team for like 9 months of the year, so I can see why they wouldn't win it.
Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, the Street Profits get it. It's by default, but I don't think they won best tag team of the year.
so it's safe to say that no other team stepped up this year. That's what it is.
Yeah, like, and it's a weird year. You could have made the case that if they stayed together, what's the tag team name that Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle had?
Yeah, I was gonna the Broserweights, because I was gonna say them too, but then like they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, based on the travel ban, so he didn't really have a choice. But
that was a very exciting team, and if they would have at least had a 5 to 6 month run.
They definitely got over quicker than way more than I give them credit for. But all right, let's move on. How about breakout wrestler of the year?
So this one is you can't win by default, right?
I mean,
you can't just ride the wave and win.
I was gonna say that this is pretty much based on. I mean, the way I write it is people who added stock to their name this year, pretty much. People who changed their perception. I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to see it. I'll drop some names that I put on for Baca so I can get his brain working. Keith Lee, Darby Allin, Dakota Kai, Shotzi Blackheart, Jey Uso, Damian Priest, Cedric Alexander, and MJF.
So there's two names that I'm gonna say in terms of like adding stock, because I felt like for the most part everybody else had stock except for maybe Blackheart, but outside of hosting Halloween Havoc.
I was gonna say, by the way, if you guys have any other names come to mind, by all means, drop them. I would just go and buy what
you can make the case. Remember. You can make the case for Keith Lee, but I'm gonna say it's either Jey Uso or
I would say,
or it's what was the one that was after that? Cedric Alexander.
I was gonna say.
Come on, can't compare fucking Cedric Alexander with Jey Uso.
And by the way, this is why I was anticipating, because
oh my gosh,
one thing that Jey Uso didn't do this year is he didn't beat Kofi Kingston, and that's what Cedric Alexander did. You know, the former WWE champion that you always harp about. You know that guy.
Jey Uso might have had match of the year.
No, yeah, but that's not.
I think he definitely had storyline of the year.
Where the fuck was Jey Uso the rest of the year?
Very true.
You come in September, fucking go. If we're making
I can say
for a lot of these other guys.
No, but breakout is different.
Cedric Alexander was on TV.
Come on,
the
you really
entire
can't believe
fucking
that.
year.
You really can't believe that. The first 8 months of the year, he was awful.
Ricochet
was so bad.
Who you talking about, Cedric?
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander was on TV.
Before we got with the Horde business, he was awful.
Cedric wasn't awful. He was
awful.
No.
When he was with Ricochet and all that,
no. He wasn't awful. He just didn't appeal to you.
No, he had bad storylines. He was bad.
No, because he could appeal to somebody else. That's not you.
Do you know anybody he appealed to?
For me?
Yeah. Do you know anybody that he appealed to? Hey,
I'm saying for me.
Last night?
For
He
me,
appealed to you?
yes, bro.
Come on.
I'm
You
the
just-
one to.
I appreciate you playing devil's advocate, but
no, because I'm a Cedric Alexander fan, so I've been watching him since Ring of Honor. A, B. So when I do sit here and I got to hear you talk about Cedric Alexander's T-shirt, I can sit here and say, well, he did beat the WWE champion. This is why I watch him.
okay,
Clean.
A few
He beat him
years
twice.
ago.
He beat him twice clean this year. Name another guy that they let do that.
dude, Jey Uso had
Yeah, okay,
the
yeah, Jey
storyline
Uso.
of the year and the
so-
main
so-
event
so he-
match.
But he didn't win any matches.
He-
And
he-
now he's just Roman Reigns' lackey, which is fine. I think Jey Uso, like I said it's between Jey Uso or this other guy.
And-
I think it's
and
crazy.
Cedric-
I think it's crazy to put Jey Uso
Cedric
and
became
Cedric in the same
champion.
conversation.
Cedric became tag team champion
in a weak tag, and you didn't even
Really?
mention him.
A week
We
tag?
had this conversation at the very beginning.
Are you talking about
I'm
the
gonna
tag
tell
team of the
you right
year?
now.
Because if you form a tag team with Shelton Benjamin the last 2 months of the year, you're not part of a tag team of the year. It's only 2 months out the year. But the fact that and this is what I'm saying, the way that they've booked it, though he's with Shelton, they've been showing him being the one to be aggressive and take the initiative and win these matches for his team. So
do you think it's Cedric, Quincy?
I would put him definitely in the top 3.
So who do you think it is?
I know
Jey Uso.
I would put Jey Uso up
Okay.
there, but another person I would argue 100% would be see, that's the thing. Keith Lee, he had a rise and fall. He did the whole North American Championship thing, challenged Adam Cole, became double champion. They really put a lot on him, and then
six-man tags with the champion right now.
Yeah,
But that's not how awards are. You have to pick one winner. That's not how awards work.
Yeah, but okay, then fuck you. I'm going to give it to Cedric Alexander because he went from
She's out of
jobber.
spite. She's out of spite.
He went from jobber, like chasing after the 24/7 championship this year, to now being somewhat relevant and then becoming tag champion by, like you said, pinning a former WWE champion. They're gonna put the fucking rocket to this guy with MVP as his mouthpiece, and Cedric Alexander has proven that he's actually got personality now.
I mean,
this has happened for the last 4 months. If you're gonna talk about breakout star, about someone putting stock to their name, Cedric Alexander's got a lot of stock to his name.
Yeah, but do you think he has more stock than Jey Uso, who never even made it to WrestleMania card before last year, and now he's main eventing everything. He's the talk of the industry with Roman Reigns. He had the storyline of the year. He had the match of the year.
Cedric Alexander already popped his WrestleMania bubble with Mustafa Ali, so he's already ahead of him.
Okay, so I agree. Cedric added a whole bunch of stock.
I'm just saying
but he didn't add more than Jey Uso, man.
But
Jey Uso already has
Jey Uso,
stock.
they were asking which twin are you, and now everyone knows Jey Uso's name.
Yeah, but he's part of the best story. He's part of one of the best stories in wrestling.
Yeah, 100%.
Now I'm talking about putting stock to your name. Cedric Alexander is not part of the best.
But this is my thing: is Jay already kind of had stock
as
a multi-time tag team champion. He's not going to have stock.
He did 100%. But as a
so that's what I'm saying. Like
is he nobody that you
see, but regardless though, because you got Cedric.
Remember when they had Jey Uso main evented? The first thing was saying Jey Uso. Why would Jey Uso do it?
But you got Cedric Alexander coming from no stock, who kind of built himself up, and then you got Jay, who already had a comfortable amount of stock that built himself up too. So
all he has is main event stock now, and to be honest, since he lost the Roman,
only main event stock.
He has some main event stock, but he doesn't have breakout stock,
and he keeps losing. The last couple times he's been in the main event, he's been losing.
I'm giving it to fucking Cedric Alexander.
He didn't beat Kevin Owens. He didn't beat Daniel Bryan.
He did beat Daniel Bryan. He beat Daniel Bryan clean.
No, but
in about 1 minute.
No. Recently, when he went the last.
I don't say he keeps losing when he beat Daniel Bryan clean.
When
he just beat his ass on that SmackDown.
Yeah, but how long ago? What I'm saying is the last
in 2020. That's when in 2020.
Because technically speaking, if we're thinking about accolades and all that shit, it would be technically Keith Lee for being a double champion at some point. But the fact that the last few months have not been that great. Yeah. The thing is, Cedric went from
technically he had the main event, or not main event. He had the champion, the match with Randy Orton. What pay-per-view was that? I can't remember. It was when Drew was like injured, so he like wrestled for him.
Because you can make the case right now. Let me put this in perspective. If we were to say one of these three guys has the best chance of becoming WWE champion right now, Jey Uso, Keith Lee, or Cedric, who would it be? It would be Keith Lee.
Yeah.
So
my vote is for Jey Uso.
So he's added stock to his name, but it's Cedric obviously deserves to be WWE champion next week because of all the stock he's built.
Yeah,
Cedric isn't even top 2 in his own faction.
What?
Oh, he's the face of the faction right now,
No,
dude.
he's not, man.
I
Bobby
mean-
Lashley's the face of. First of all, it goes MVP, Bobby Lashley, then Cedric, and then.
You're telling me they're not building Cedric to beat Bobby Lashley at some point?
Okay, I get what you're saying, but right now he's not number 2 in his faction.
Well,
It's
I mean,
MVP,
but
Bobby.
But that's like saying, hey, you're not number 2 in the nation domination next to Farouk and The Rock. You have to be number 3.
Huh?
You know, when you got MVP
You
and Bobby
comparing
Lashley.
Farouk and The Rock to MVP and Lashley?
Yeah.
Dude, even the WWE gave him the moment when they won the tag team championships. Instead of giving it to Shelton, they let Cedric tag himself in, get the pin clean, and win.
Well, who would you want to build around? Cedric or Shelton, who's 55?
All I'm saying is, how many times have we seen a guy tag himself in to get the pin and then he ruins it? Like, but Cedric hasn't been doing that. He's been.
But let me ask you this: Is Cedric a
I
jobber?
like Cedric.
Is Cedric a jobber?
He was before. He was.
But he's not a jobber anymore.
Not anymore. He was.
I think that.
And he's in that
He
same
was.
vein because he's a former cruiserweight champion. So
Yeah.
again, you know, people are perfectly. I mean, because it's like R-Truth. R-Truth would be a jobber, right?
I don't know.
I don't-
Is he? He's
I
a
don't know.
champion
I
for
mean-
he's been a champion for 10 years now.
Bro, I mean, he's been the 24/7. But before that, he,
like
you know,
15 years now. So he's like,
former tag champ, former United States champion.
Well,
I
R-Truth
mean,
would win
he had
a
a
real
championship match against John Cena at one point. You know,
but also, I just want to throw this out there. Probably one of my top 5 favorite matches of all time is Cedric versus Ibushi at the Cruiserweight Classic.
oh, absolutely. No, dude. Like, I remember watching that to this day, him losing, and then the crowd chanting to sign him, and I remember getting chills. I'm like, man, that's dope. And then the
That was
fact
such
that,
a good match.
and then you see Triple H walk out at the end. I was like, oh shit! Like the fact that he even responded to it. Yeah, that is honestly, go watch that match, Baca.
I'm gonna watch it today. I'm gonna watch it after this podcast.
That's your homework for today.
Cedric against who?
Ibushi at Cruiserweight Classic.
Kota, I'll text it to you.
All right, thanks to me.
So I'm split. I mean, I would say Jey Uso because more people are talking about him, but I in terms of progress, Cedric Alexander been putting in work these last couple months, so couldn't really tell you. Darby Allin.
And the thing is, Cedric Alexander was technically, I would say it's half-assed, but technically it was in a tag team with Ricochet going for the, like, at least being in contender matches, right? At the early part of the year. Like, you still thought he was a jobber, but he was like.
I mean, I put it like this. In terms of the guys that they fired, he could have easily been on that list, but they kept him. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm all for black wrestlers. I'm not here to,
I don't know. It seemed like you don't like this guy working.
You know, like black wrestlers. It seems like
he's like I'm gonna find something third party about this guy. I'm gonna get this guy yanked.
Because like Jey Uso was in I believe he was in a tag team championship match at WrestleMania, or his brother was. I don't remember which one happened. Right? Wasn't that the case, or am I thinking of 2 different tag teams? The ladder match, right? The ladder match, the triple threat ladder match. But then somebody couldn't do the match because they were hurt, so it just became a triple threat.
Yeah.
And then the SmackDown after.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they had that like one.
Who was a tag team singles match?
Yeah. It was a triple threat singles tag team championship match. Yeah, damn, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So like Jey Uso and his brother are always going to have a Mania match, or is always going to have a big time tag title situation. Like I said, if they come back as a tag team at the table. They're most likely gonna take the titles off the Street Profits. Like, I'm just being real about
especially if they come back as Roman Reigns faction and are bad guys. Yeah,
I just don't like if you wanted to maybe 2-3 years ago.
That means they're gonna team them up with Kevin Owens.
No.
Yeah, they're going straight names.
Yeah, I mean we've seen him tag before against Seth, so that's why I say like, oh,
it would be really cool if Kevin Owens, like based on his match that he had at Chelsea, it'd be really cool, really good story if he won the Royal Rumble and challenged Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I think Kevin Owens' time is past, man.
I don't know, bro.
Just can't get it. Can't get it.
This is my like I was thinking that okay, this is just a transitional title defense for Roman, but bro, that TLC match, like I put it on the match of the year list.
You guys on mute for 1 second.
Okay.
He doesn't like to talk to us.
Yeah, it's probably because like somebody heard him discredit Cedric Alexander, and he's just hearing it now. Like the construction worker outside is
he's like, "What'd you say about Cedric the Great?" Oh man.
I guess we can move on to the next.
I was gonna say since he can't hear us, so we'll just say Cedric Alexander, breakout artist. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't gonna take every award. I figured like the main ones. I was
Okay.
gonna throw up like MVP of the year, match of the year, stuff like that.
Yeah, because like
Stable of the year, which there was like all of 4.
well, we could do stable, right? Let's just do stable. What are the
Yeah,
stables?
uh, Dark Order, Inner Circle, Undisputed Era, and Her Business. I mean, I was thinking of putting Pat's group on there, but they don't have a name.
Yeah, they're just people who don't like Undisputed Era.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and they weren't here the whole year, so I don't know. I was
What about? I think it's probably Hurt Business for solidifying
Sorry
that
about
mid
that,
card.
guys.
just to catch you up. We're
Just
talking,
making phone calls to Houston. No big deal. No big deal.
no.
February 19th, Young Buck Productions,
It's your
Houston,
credit.
Texas.
I was
You know,
gonna say,
It's your credit card company telling you that.
I was
I appreciate this. You think I'll get a credit card? That means a lot. To me.
It's just like, hey,
I'm thinking, are you talking to Booker?
you haven't made your payment. It's like I just got a call from Houston. You know.
Just gotta,
No, but we got 2 shows in Houston, February 19th and February 20th, because Texas is 100% open, so we rocking it, man. But best faction of the year, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I could only come up with 4 choices. I put the Hurt Business, the Inner
No
Circle,
question about it, dude.
Undisputed Era, and the Dark Order. I mean, I had to put. So I couldn't just leave 3. I mean, I told Brian like I did want. I considered Pat McAfee's group, but they just got
They
together.
just popped up, yeah.
And they don't have a name. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know if they have really done anything.
What about the Nightmare Family?
Uh,
I don't think they count. I'm making more of a joke because
I was even thinking the Elite, even though they're not really the Elite anymore. They're all kind of doing their own thing, but they all had a pretty.
Marshall.
When you think about it, they all had a good year. Hangman and Omega won the tag straps. The Young Bucks won the tag straps. Then you had Kenny winning the world title. So
But there was like never a moment where the Elite like
Yeah,
Or
where
the
the-
Elite,
come
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I mean,
think they did
other than
it
the
at the beginning
Stadium
of the year.
Stampede, I mean,
Yeah.
but that was Matt Hardy, right? Yeah, Cody wasn't
He
even there
doesn't
for that
count.
one. Yeah, that don't count.
I don't think there's much debate on this one. I think it's the Hurt
Yeah,
Business, man.
I would
Before
agree.
MVP come together, Bobby was talking about his sisters. Cedric
Yeah.
was jobbing out,
I mean,
Shelton Benjamin was at home in Minnesota.
No, he was helping Lesnar clear out some of the trash in the Royal Rumble.
You can make the case like
There's no case.
that like Undisputed Era. But Adam Cole had a pretty good first half of the year, or at least an average half of the first year. I know Velveteen Dream part of that, but and then Kyle O'Reilly got at least a title shot, and he had his little run, and then the War Games match. You could make the case the Undisputed Era was the faction of the year. It's just nobody was that interested, I think, because we've seen them be faction of the year, so we're trying to look for them to do something new.
I mean, it was one of those things that they did enough I couldn't ignore, but at the same time, like, I mean, that's why I had to add people like the Inner Circle, who, I mean, they had a pretty up and down year themselves. The Dark Order I added just because it's objective. People who may follow the BTE stuff could be fans of them. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, I know it's not just going to be us voting for this. So,
well, you can make the case that the Brodie becoming TNT champion and then just squashing Cody, but then he lost it. But I believe he lost it because of his situation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they did have that. They ran that angle after he won it, where the Dark Order just like beat down everybody. So that was cool, but
they did shotgun that TNT championship because now that more came out, it makes a lot more sense that it ended up on Darby. I think it was supposed to end up on Darby eventually. It's just like they probably couldn't make the case for Darby to beat Brodie at that stage.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, it would have been, especially because he was still doing the stuff with Team Taz. It would just looked weird.
You can make the case somewhat because I feel like the Dark Orders had a similar year as Her Business, just less. They just have less gold, if that makes sense. If they didn't win the tag championships this last go around, do you believe that people look at the Hurt Business as the best faction of the year?
No.
So it's really dependent on the fact that they just won gold too.
Well, I'm sorry, you said the Hurt Business. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, look, in terms of like, no, I don't know. I mean, because you got, you have the tag championships and you got the United States Championship thing with Bobby, so it really brings it all together. But I mean, if they're not, faction of the year, I definitely would vote for them for MVP of the year because they were consistent. They made the show interesting.
They were the glue
I
that kept
mean,
Raw together when Raw was
yeah,
bad.
100%. And I know Baka would definitely agree.
Yep,
I
I agree
mean,
100%, man.
there wasn't a time that we would bring up Raw that we weren't talking about the Hurt Business. So
They, especially those couple months that were just really dragging, they were holding all together, man. It was awesome.
Those weeks when you were telling us that Raw's good, and we were like, no.
yeah, that was it. That was it.
All right. Any other cool categories, or are you?
I mean, I had a few. I mean, Manager of the Year,
MVP.
MVP.
Yeah. I had Tully Blanchard, Paul Heyman, Arn Anderson, Taz, Scarlett, and MVP.
Oh, so going back to women's of the this person shouldn't probably be on the list because it was a very short thing, but what she accomplished was a big deal. Tessa Blanchard could have been technically on that list too because she won.
Was
the
that
Impact.
last year?
She won the Impact Championship.
That was last year, yeah. But
January.
We don't remember because she was like stuck in Mexico for like what more than like half the year. Or
She was
whatever.
stuck in Mexico for a long time, and then she started calling people niggas.
Yeah.
Which one happened first?
I was gonna say I think the chicken and the egg is flipped there, but yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Pretty much. I have one most hated. You guys might just get a kick out of the names.
Go for it.
Velveteen Dream, Vince McMahon, Pat McAfee, Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy, and Tony Khan.
Is Orange Cassidy is he hated? Who hates Orange Cassidy?
I do. He's made me. He's made me just so sick of seeing his face, bro. Like, it was one thing when they were giving him some shine and some spotlight, but then look, I don't need to see you wrestle Jericho 3 times.
Yeah.
I get it. They overused him. I think
they really did. They overexposed him a little bit.
That was a very WWE move by them, to be honest.
Yeah, it really was.
He's more of a crowd person. They probably realized we're not gonna have a crowd for a while, but you can still use him sporadically. You know, like you don't have to use him like the way they did. I still like Orange Cassidy.
I mean, like he was he gonna make me laugh in a match? Like I still watched the match he had with Pac because I thought that was awesome. But just this year, I'm like, dude, you guys are zeroing in on him too much. Like it's almost like you guys are trying to please the internet fans, but it's like they don't even want to see him this much.
So it's between Velveteen Dream and Vince McMahon, in my opinion. Vince McMahon did a lot of bullshitty things this year.
Well, and that's that's what made me think about it because I'm like, well, is it like most hated or most heat? You know what I mean? Because obviously Velveteen was getting dragged. He wasn't. I mean, not like it wasn't rightfully so, but I know Tony Khan was getting dragged quite a bit. I mean, what do they call the money mark?
Okay, so Velveteen Dream did extremely shady things. Is that still what is it? I'm missing the word right now. Is that still apparent, or is it like
I don't know what's up? I was surprised to see him when he came back last week again. I was like,
okay,
you're back.
So that situation, I'm gonna be optimistic and hopefully Velveteen's in the right on this one. But like all signs are pointing south. But Vince McMahon did like legitimately cost like 40% of his workforce their careers.
Yeah,
in a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I would say,
and then touted the amount of profits they made for the year. It was just like, okay.
So I would make the case like if things are true, what Velveteen Dream did was worse. So he might be most hated, but like it's like so I think like without knowing everything at this stage, but knowing what Vince did, I think I voted for Velveteen though on your thing, but I'm gonna say right now that I think about it, it's probably Vince.
I'll go with Velveteen. The fact if he did those things.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what made it hard. I was like, are we going kayfabe? Or are we going, for reals here? Because if it's kayfabe, then I'll be like, I think Pat McAfee got pretty much a lot of hate. You know what I mean? He did his job.
Right.
But then Jericho also, he got hate. He was getting a lot of hate this year too on the COVID
stuff,
the Fozzy stuff. Yeah, like this stupid shit he would say on Twitter. So I was like, I don't know. He wasn't as beloved this year as he was last year. Not to mention people have been calling him out on Dynamite for making the crowd. I don't know if you noticed this. He makes the crowd sing the hook for his song twice, and they edit it where they put it in later. That's
really
because I guess he's been wanting more people to sing, and then so when he comes out to the first time, people it's just like scattered singing, and then he's like, no, we're gonna do it again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm like, dude. You've heard this song a million times since like 2 years ago. Like it is what it is. Like the people say, you guys got what 30% attendance? Is that what it is?
Right.
Something like
That's
that. I'm
not
like,
like, dude, just
and
fucking
then
come
you
out.
put them up in the nosebleed. So I mean, shit, dude, you're not gonna hear all of them.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
let me see what else I have on here. We can get down to the nitty gritty, I suppose. I mean, the only other one I had was outside of like matches of the year was, like I said, just the MVP of the year. But I mean, that's almost the same. I mean, Drew
Well,
McIntyre. Go ahead.
we don't have to vote, but what was your favorite match of the year?
My favorite match, I can't tell you because dude, I had to separate. You saw I had to separate it into three different. I had
Yeah.
AEW match of the year, WWE match of the year, NXT match of the year, and then the cinematic match of the year because there was a lot of those motherfuckers too.
I would say, in terms of my enjoyment, it was the Firefly Funhouse match. But in terms of in-ring work, it was the Young Bucks, Hangman, Kenny match.
That definitely was my early favorite this year. I was talking about that match for a while. I've even went back and watched it more than once. So I definitely would agree with you on that. However, I can't see us, and this is where it gets tricky. I would say that the men's Royal Rumble match was a great match. I would say that Roman.
That was extremely good. How Brock Lesnar eliminated half the card basically in one by himself, and then Drew McIntyre eliminated. We're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I feel like they booked it really good, like the way that they did. And then the Keith Lee got a few, like a lot of people got a few cool spots with Brock in there. Not Matt Riddle because he wants to kill him, but I mean,
Edge coming back.
Yeah, Edge coming back for sure. MVP coming back. I would say even Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly was great. I would throw obviously Roman versus Jey Uso, Hell in a Cell.
The only thing that kind of kills the O'Reilly Finn match is the injuries that followed.
Yeah, because they weren't able to capitalize 100%. I did like Finn Balor versus Adam Cole on even though they gave it to us on NXT TV for free. The War Games matches were both really good. I enjoyed the ambulance match earlier this year with McIntyre and Orton. I liked Bayley and Sasha in Hell in a Cell as well. I think my latest favorite match is Roman and Kevin Owens at TLC. I thought that was a good match.
So good. You added that to one of them, right?
I did. Yeah,
I voted for that shit. That shit was fucking good.
I liked it a lot. Like I honestly like what they've been doing with their booking with Kevin and Roman as far as him saying he's not scared of him.
You know, I don't know if this is a trend though, but Roman's had possibly 3 match of the year candidates in the last 4 months or so.
Yeah,
since he came back. So
both the ones with him and Jay. And for sure,
and you can make the case that Drew McIntyre match was good too.
I was about to say I forgot about that match, and then he won the title in the triple threat, didn't he?
Yeah, he won that payback in August, I believe.
Yeah, that's when he walked out late as hell, signed the contract, and just
that was a little stupid, but it's fine. But yeah, I would say like, but if the trend is that if you're in a feud of Roman and it's going to be good, then either it should be Kevin Owens at Mania, or it should be just anybody's going to be good.
I mean, it's one of those things though that I don't know what they're doing with Roman, who beats him and all that, but like they've been doing really well. Like the guys they've been putting up against him, they've came out the other end looking really good.
I think they could. I think like a lot of people are like, "Hey, don't take the title off Roman. He's hot." But I think if they took the title off of him either at Mania or something, and then he just got really hot and started like breaking shit, getting pissed off at the Usos, and then, so he could get the title back eventually.
I think watching a heel Roman pursue for the championship would be really good. Yeah.
I would have to say the Hell in a Cell match is the only match I've watched 3 times in the last 5 years.
The Jey Uso one?
Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. Yeah, it was amazing, man. His twin brother coming limping down, jumping in him. It was just awesome, man. I loved it. I watched it 3 times. It was amazing.
That's one thing I'll say is there were some great matches and moments this year or last year for 2020 for sure. Another match. Again, not to be more morbid about it, but I did enjoy Brodie Lee versus Cody in the dog collar match.
Yeah, really good.
I don't know if that'd be match of the year, but it's definitely up there. Oh, I did like the parking lot brawl. I don't know if you remember that, the best friends when they had that match against Proud and Powerful. That was pretty good too.
Brodie Lee too versus John Moxley.
Yeah, that was and you know what? Good. The reason why I gave that a vote was because going into that, it had a lot of criticism from fans. Like, oh, of course he's gonna go against the ex-OWE guy, and there was all that shit. I remember that, but that match was way better than anybody gave Brodie credit for at the time. So yeah.
Right.
But if I had to pick one, fuck, I would have. I mean, the one that I remembered that stuck with me, I'd have to pick. Fuck, it's a tie for me still. It'd have to be the Hell in a Cell with Roman and Jay, and it would have to be the Hangman and Kenny Omega versus the Bucks.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I think the TLC match against Kevin Owens was better than the Jey Uso matches.
Really? I think I don't know. I think it was they were
gotta go against the grain, don't you, Ryan? You just gotta be that guy, don't you?
I thought those were really good stories in terms of matches.
I think they're both really good.
But like in terms of actual match quality, it's the Kevin Owens one. Like those are really good stories being told. Those are the best stories being told in wrestling. Those two matches, I'll say that. But
yeah. I think storyline wise,
they were just Roman Reigns being the fuck out of Jey Uso, and then Jey Uso looking like, oh no, don't do this, and then Jimmy coming down.
He said, I'm not giving up. I'm not going to. He said,
and then
when he grabbed him and he said, look, he told the camera, and he said, not today, Oos, not today.
But that's extreme.
It, man.
That's exactly why I said Firefly Funhouse is probably my most favorite in terms of wanting to watch something. But in terms of in-ring work.
Well, Firefly Funhouse is second for me because I really did.
Well, see, but this is why I had to, like, if anything, I had to pick one from like one WWE match, one NXT match, one, you know what I mean? Like the cinematic match. I mean, I did love the Firefly Funhouse, but I had a lot of fun watching the Boneyard match too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I think Firefly Funhouse, and it's the first time WWE ever did anything like that. It was just, it was crazy, man. It was awesome.
I was really hoping they're gonna do. Do you think they're gonna do the Randy Orton version of that, or?
I would think they're gonna. Well, see, here's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what they're gonna do with the Fiend now because he's burned alive. He's supposedly the word he's gonna come back on some like super shredder action.
We haven't talked. Oh, first of all, by the way, Young Buck got a bullshit thing because we didn't pick any predictions for TLC, so he got.
He got a bye.
It's not my fault that you guys aren't on your game, dude.
Says the guy who couldn't make the fucking show.
Let me put this. I thought it would be really cool to let Bray Wyatt not come on TV, which might be what they're doing right now, but we'll see because I keep getting nervous that they're gonna bring Bray Wyatt too early. But Randy Orton should just move on to something totally different. Just move on to fucking totally. Don't even talk to Alexa Bliss. Just move the fuck on.
The Alexa Bliss thing, it's intriguing, but I don't know what they're doing. It's like if you're just bringing her in just to, to keep the story relevant until whenever. Because I wouldn't be. I wouldn't doubt that Bray is probably not in a hurry to come back because he just lost his friend too. You know what I mean?
So keep in mind, like you could create the story that like. Because I heard another rumor was Edge may face the Fiend.
I heard something about that.
So you could create the story on either direction. If you want it to be Randy Orton versus the Fiend at Mania, if you want Edge with the Fiend, but you could have just said Randy Orton move the fuck on. Like he's like, I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna move on for the title, etc., etc. And then either at the Rumble or whatever. But I wouldn't even have the Fiend come back. I would only have Bray Wyatt come back. Like you can still play it off that Bray Wyatt's, but the Fiend's dead. Like,
and are you talking Bray Wyatt, the sweater wearing Bray Wyatt, or the old school?
I would say sweater wearing.
Okay.
Still, it's still Bray Wyatt, But the thing is, like, Bray Wyatt can't beat Randy Orton without the Fiend, and they could even play that story like in February or March that Bray Wyatt just keeps getting his ass kicked, keeps getting his RKO, keeps getting punted, and then the Fiend eventually comes back to basically beat Randy Orton or just fucking destroys Randy Orton, and then Edge comes back like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Like, I hate Randy Orton, but I don't want him to die. Like,
but you know what? I could see if like when Edge comes back, all of a sudden there's like certain elements of the Fiend that like, because like they say like the Fiend is like it's almost like a ghost, like a spirit looking for a vessel, right?
mm-hmm.
So I can see if maybe they wrote, and not to make it fucking corny because you know how they can do it. If he attached himself to Edge, where certain things, if Edge comes back and starts, reintroducing this feud with Orton, I can see him having like little outbursts or like, I mean, we've seen Edge go extreme. He's an extreme opportunist, but I could see him also like being used as an instrument of pain by the Fiend to get back at Randy in some sort of way.
I kind of wish Bray Wyatt was on TV right now because it would be really dope just for a tribute to Brodie is to just do the and then have him come out one more time as like Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, that'd have been cool. Come out.
Even have Rick Rowan there or something. I don't know. Like,
I know they're like, no, you already showed
Yeah,
up to
you
them.
dead to us, man. You dead to us.
They're like, we're not
Don't
paying
come
you.
down here, boy.
You're like, and you know what? If you're going out there, we're putting that damn spider back.
but
But
he's not, so it's fine.
you know what? I'll ask you guys one last one before we get out of here. This is actually a fun one. We could fight about this because of how bad this is. You may have already seen this one, Brian. Worst idea of 2020.
Oh, okay.
What are the nominees?
Raw Underground, Retribution, the Mimosa Mayhem match, the Tooth and Nail match, the Eye for an Eye match, and this is tied. It's the Money in the Bank match / Otis winning the Money in the Bank match.
That was my vote.
Okay. So,
I enjoyed the Money in the Bank match, the way they had it climb to the tower, but Otis winning was crazy.
See, I didn't agree with it needing to be a cinematic match, though. The fact that they sat there and like.
Well, how do you film people running up a building?
Well,
how about you just have a fucking main event?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't. You just have them have a regular.
But you got to give WWE some. You got to give them a pass on that. It was just when the pandemic started.
I can't.
They didn't really know what was going on.
That was 2.5 months.
You didn't think there was some funny moments in it when they busted into Vince's office?
My favorite moment was when Asuka she jumped on everybody because they couldn't find her. That was it.
Yeah.
Because the reason why is I was like happy that AJ was gonna win the Money in the Bank. He's already won this. He's won that. What else can he do in WWE? Oh, he's the Money in the Bank. No, he's not.
And he was still hunted by Undertaker. I think it was.
Yeah,
cool.
I think in hindsight, the Otis thing was bad, but
The Otis just winning.
was it the worst idea of the year?
I think so, because Money in the Bank is such a. You could just build around that storyline all year. You never know when he's going to cash in. The music drops, he doesn't do it. It's awesome, man.
Well, but would it be bad if they actually executed on it? So I'm asking, is it
That would've been
the
worse.
Money in the Bank? Is it the Money in the Bank match / Otis winning is the worst idea, or was it the execution after?
I think Otis being the Money in the Bank winner, I think that was a bad idea. Like you'd say, AJ being the Money in the Bank would have been awesome.
Well, because usually when traditionally here, they have a whole plan for whoever is going to go step into that role. But you could tell they had nothing.
Well, they were trying to figure out what's going on. You got to give them just like everybody else is.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that because they don't know if there's even going to be. I mean, when you think about it,
you don't know if it's going to be fans.
You're like, who do we give it to that has the least amount of fans?
Well,
yeah.
The Boneyard match and the fucking match. Like, they probably, not the Money Bank, the Fight for Fun. They probably thought, like, oh, we could do another cinematic match. They probably had the idea to do one at every pay-per-view at that point.
That's what I was thinking, too, that they got hot with their first two hands and they thought, oh, we can hit these out the park. And then that Money in the Bank, I was like, no, dude, that wasn't it.
And then they had the swamp match, and then it was
the swamp match, yeah.
So I do feel like
we did have Rey Mysterio lose an eye.
That's true.
Yeah, but another thing, Rey Mysterio getting thrown off the building, I think that was awesome, man.
The worst idea, come on, by fucking far, is Retribution.
I think it was an executed. It was a good idea. It was an executed.
Well,
was it a good idea?
I think so.
I feel bad because it's like by the time they were able to try to put some logic into it, like people already kind of like were not even interested anymore. I mean, it was flailing up quite a bit in the beginning too.
Let's see the execution of the idea though, because the idea was we're gonna have a faction debut, and then all they had was throw a Molotov cocktail at the thing, right? Yeah. I think on the next episode of SmackDown, they had some person put a
shit.
Was it the cinder block in the fucking?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Oh my God. No.
No.
It went Molotov, and then it went chainsaws and cut down the rope on SmackDown, and then that following Monday it went to cinder block. I was like, how do we?
Right.
I was like, that's why everybody was mad. We're like, so we went from chainsaws and shit to throwing a cinder block through a glass.
Because part of this discussion has to be at least immediate execution, right?
On top of the
long-term execution.
Yeah.
At least immediate execution.
Dude, these guys
execution of Retribution was bad.
They didn't even know who was going to be in the group. They had different people playing these people before they realized who was going to be in the final five. Like
that's a bad idea, right?
I mean, it started off like, oh, who could it be? We're even thinking like, oh man, maybe they're bringing back some of the guys they fired. Maybe this was some, it sucks for all the other guys, but
if they did that would have been a really good idea.
I was like, that's the best way they can salvage any type of rep after doing that is like bringing in some of these guys back and then being able to have a legit storyline and a gripe. But
And you actually have to have people that look like wrestlers do some of the shit that they did. Like, you can't just have your backstage producer fucking throw like a cinder block who you can barely hold up through a fucking window. Like,
dude, they had like they turned over a car at one point, and I remember it was like you could tell it was Chelsea Green, and she's like standing on top of the car. I'm like, oh yeah, because you flipped it on your own.
Yeah.
Like that makes so much.
I'm just like, in terms of the Otis one, he was the hottest person on SmackDown at the time. Like, regardless if it was a bad idea.
Crowd reaction, yeah. I mean, in terms of
Otis was the
too,
best thing on SmackDown at the time. So was it a bad idea in hindsight? Yes. And a bad idea at the moment. If they executed over time, we would have been like, okay. Or if he just lost it within a month or something.
Yeah, because they ended up keeping it, and then as a result, him and Tucker split up for no reason. I mean,
and what if they had
nobody came out better as a result of this? You know what I mean? I mean, Miz
no one came out better from Retribution either.
No, not at all. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, you got Mia Yim losing her mask in the middle of a freaking match.
Retribution legitimately might have destroyed. We'll see what happens, but Retribution legitimately destroyed like 5 people's careers.
Yeah.
No, for real though. Like, I feel bad for like Dijakovic because he's like attached to this. Like,
so what do you guys feel is more important, destroying 5 people's careers or the integrity of the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Oh no.
Well, I don't care about those 5 people, but I care about Money in the Bank.
I care about Dijakovic.
I think what made the Money in the Bank situation bad because like if this was in isolation, it wouldn't be a big deal. But since it's been like 3 or 4 years of mishandling the briefcase too, it's just like fuck, like again.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know exactly. I mean, me myself, I would vote. I mean, we're not talking Raw Underground now. I would vote Retribution.
That was bad, but at least at moments it gave some wrestlers things to do. Like for a moment there, Dolph Ziggler looked legitimately.
No, he was cool. Some guys it gave some guys something to do. I mean, even Titus O'Neil looked like he was like, he had something to do.
I just didn't like that Shane McMahon was calling matches like on his own, like he was the
that and the fact that he kept calling the referee who clearly has a name already. He kept calling him Spider. I'm like, dude, stop! Like, this isn't UFC. This isn't one of the UFC refs. Like, chill. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, the best thing we got out of it, we had Almas that came out of it, who was Doorman. So
yeah, I think that's the best thing. He's huge, man.
Before we go. I was gonna. How about we do something fun here? Who do we think is gonna be the wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, and what do you think is one thing that WWE will do that's entirely fucking stupid in 2021? They do something stupid every year, so there's gotta be.
I'm gonna think about the WWE stupid thing last because that could be a multitude of things. I could see. Wrestler of the year for 2021. This is like a New Year's resolution, correct? Almost like looking to a future.
It's probably gotta be Kenny based on momentum, but we'll have to see.
Oh, see, I forgot that we're even thinking about. I'm just thinking WWE, and I gotta open my mind. I could see Kenny. I could see. I don't know what the hell they're doing with the Hangman. I wish they would do.
I
wish they would pull the trigger on Hangman already.
I think the Hangman thing's a couple more years of stewing, in my opinion.
I would give it, to be honest, if we're going to let him stew, I'd only give him one more year.
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the title off Kenny at All Out or
I'd give him I would let him have
year, that. But Hangman wouldn't be maybe wrestler of the year by that point. I guess what I'm trying to say is like
that's true.
It would be next year where Hangman has his run.
Very true. Where we could probably give him that accolade at the end of that year.
So I would say Superstar of the Year. Yeah.
Cody possibly.
He can't fight for the championship.
He can.
He can fight for the TNT championship whenever it comes.
Man, I didn't know. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the prestigious TNT championship.
Do you think
prestigious? I could see Roman.
I would have to say the same thing. I'm going with Roman. I think it's just going to continue to build. Keep him bad guy. It's going to be awesome, man.
Especially when the first couple months of the New Year's is all Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So, like,
100%.
I so need to see Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I would
they're on the same brand now, man.
They separated themselves from the Shield. This is two different.
I was thinking the same thing, but it's like who's heel, who's face.
Oh, Roman's head of the table, and Seth Rollins is.
It's hard to make Seth face.
Is the Friday Night Messiah? They're both heels in their own shitty way.
Ways,
But
yeah.
you can make a heel versus heel thing work.
Why is that so tough to make it work? Heel versus heel. Because you have no one to cheer for.
It's not that I don't want to see that. That's the general like. Well, why
It is tough heel versus heel.
why would we have two bad guys?
Yeah.
No one's gonna cheer. Like that's not why we do.
But
But
you
then if you
can-
notice, they've been. I mean, with the Fiend and like Braun Strowman, they kind of did that a little bit before Roman came back.
You can make the case that Seth Rollins would be trying to save SmackDown, so it would be like he's the baby face that he thinks he's the baby face, but he's being conceited. So he's kind of like a snobby heel, whereas Roman's
Okay.
kind of like the badass.
I'm thinking you're going like Seth is like I'm born again and I'm a good guy now. I am.
No. He's still a heel, but
after I had my baby, it opened my eyes, and it's you know what I mean. Like I'm thinking he's gonna go like totally.
I can see Vince. I can see Vince just dropping the Messiah thing in general, though, and just being like, "Seth's coming back as a dad now." like,
I mean, they kind of did it with Daniel Bryan. You know, he was the Planet's champion, and then all of a sudden he's back on the Yes. He said Yes is dead, but now it's alive. So, but as far as women's, Jade Cargill, no.
I think Tessa Blanchard's going to sign somewhere where things start to open up again, and she'll probably be female of the year. They're going to strap.
I think Charlotte. Now that Charlotte's back. Yeah, I know, and that's how I felt in my head because I was like, well, it's a fact she's back. So,
would you rather have Charlotte be champion and float everywhere and
no? Because it didn't.
Or would you rather have Orange Cassidy be overused?
Oh fuck. Well, see, at least it's Orange Cassidy's overused. He doesn't necessarily win every time, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, that's my thing. Like they tried that with Charlotte and it didn't work. With the NXT championship, it didn't really work the way they wanted it to. But I would think that Charlotte would be up there unless Becky comes back, which I know that that's all Baca wants is he wants to see Becky.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. No, that's not all I want. That's not all I want in wrestling. That's all I want in life. That's all I want in my life is for Becky to come back.
She got pregnant at the right time because I started to get really bored of Becky it
was one of those things where I remember watching the back and forth she did with John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the first SmackDown of the new year last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool, but then I was like, this should have came way earlier before now, where I'm not even that impressed with it. You know what I mean? It seemed like it should have came earlier, but yeah, I mean, look, the women's division I thought did quite a bit of growing with the absence of Charlotte and Becky this year.
I do too.
Bayley stepped up as a heel. Sasha, she's doing her best work right now. They're actually letting her keep the championship. Carmella, I'm not against right now. It's not the same Carmella we had at the Women's Money in the Bank. So
yeah, I'm sick of Carmella, and it's only been a month.
but, hey, no lie though. Like the new character, yeah, but the match she had with Sasha was not bad at all.
It was pretty good.
I was actually really surprised. Yeah. But as far as
you would think you want to strap, you would want to say a fresh face Belair would be the one. But,
yeah.
But we have to see it first,
Yeah, I mean they do have her working with Bayley, but they got Bayley doing the whole Sami Zayn shit right now, so I don't know.
I love Sami Zayn.
As far as
I hate Sami Zayn.
As far as something,
that's all personality right there.
As far as something dumb that WWE would do, I could see him not dropping another video game again and upsetting people.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I could see him
dropping the ball with somebody horribly.
Oh, I could see them having Goldberg beat Roman Reigns for the.
I double up on that. I see that happening too. Because
I mean, it's something they've done before. They've done it twice.
Or Goldberg beating Drew McIntyre, or Goldberg winning and beating somebody that just because the ratings are bad.
But that makes it worse. No one wants to watch. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, Goldberg's gonna be here next year. Like, oh, sweet, I gotta watch that.
Can someone confirm this? Did Miz get his Money in the Bank back?
He did.
He was just handed to him, right?
He just handed it to him. Adam Pearce gave it back.
So are we gonna get a Miz champion in fucking 2021?
I think so.
Or is he just gonna
I hope so. I love the Miz.
But if so, it has to be. If I'm wrong, it may be either before June or before July, right? Or maybe it's May. Whenever, because when you think about it, that's last year's Money in the Bank briefcase, so it has to be before the new Money in the Bank.
Imagine it started over right now because he got it back right now.
Like the amount of the countdown for the days.
Yeah.
That'd actually be pretty. That'd be pretty boss.
Right.
See,
You know what'd be really cool is if he doesn't use it, he has to defend it in the next year's Money in the Bank match.
that makes sense.
So he has to put it back on the line. Instead of
That
losing it, he just
would,
puts it back on the line.
would people
We
get
never
mad
seen
though? Would
we
they get
never
mad if he won again?
You just have him lose it. Like I think that's actually a really good way because we never seen it get to that point where the clock's ticking. Like that's a really good story to tell.
Yeah. So they it was in May last year, Money in the Bank. So yeah, if he does it before May, cool. But if they make him defend it, that I think would be the best way to do it. Storytelling wise,
Just
you know
put
what
it
I mean?
back on the line. Like
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I was thinking about though, I was like, shouldn't AJ be getting a rematch then, since like that cash in is not legal then now, right? It's like null and void.
Well, you could probably do AJ versus, but it doesn't seem like they're going that way. But Christmas episodes don't fucking count.
Yeah,
So you
right.
you can make the
Hey,
case
at least they didn't have John Cena come back and act like he was going to save Santa this year. So
you could actually, it would be really interesting if they do AJ versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, and then again Miz fucking tries to catch it in the match.
but does it for real? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
By the way, I wouldn't mind seeing John Cena versus Drew McIntyre. I don't know.
that'd be really cool, like at Mania or like
I just randomly
anytime.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it'd be really cool. John seems like the type of guy that would actually come back to like push a B level pay per view too, and just like like
they should have him come back for.
I'm shocked he hasn't came back yet. Give us a couple months, John. That's all I'm asking for.
If NXT comes back with Great American Bash again, he has to show.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait. Was he at Tribute to the Troops? At least
I don't think he was, right?
No,
he probably did a video message. I didn't watch
it. Nobody watched it. Nobody knows because nobody watched it.
They actually said that 2020 was the first time that John Cena didn't appear on Raw at all. Yeah. 0 times. Doc sent that. He said he apologized to you because he knows that.
I love John Cena, man.
I wouldn't be surprised though. I think it'd make it interesting because sometimes after the Royal Rumble, things get a little boring with the champion.
You think they're gonna have him? They're gonna bring him in against Roman? I don't want to see that.
I would love that.
I don't want to see that. I'd rather see Drew. Drew's a little bit fresher.
Oh wait, you'd rather see Drew against Roman than John Cena against Roman Reigns?
No.
Roman Reigns head of the table. Come on, man.
But that's my thing. Is like I'm wondering which Cena we're gonna get, because if we're gonna get the same Cena we got against The Rock, I don't want to see it.
I want all American, blue eyes. Blue Life Matters, John Cena. That's the John Cena.
If we're gonna get Rock versus Roman at Mania, and then we had John versus Roman at Elimination Chamber, that's a different story.
I would love that. I would want that more. I would want The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But you can't do it if there's no audience, man, right? Because you can't afford to pay The Rock that much.
That'd be a hell of a WrestleMania. You got Roman versus The Rock, and then Drew versus Cena.
But now they pushed WrestleMania Hollywood back to 2022.
Right.
Yeah. So this year they're going to do Tampa again.
Yes. I mean, they can't go nowhere else. I mean, that's going to be open. I mean, unless they can go to Houston.
Young Baca Productions, baby.
So
I'm all about Houston now.
So what I was going to get
Port Arthur in the building. What's good?
Yeah, since sometimes like the stretch between the Royal Rumble and the championship or the WrestleMania, it kind of gets a little boring sometimes. Like when it gets stagnant, we know, like when you're trying to build like a 3-month storyline with just 2 people. I wouldn't mind that the Miz catches in on Drew and then Drew gets the title back in that 2 to 3 months.
By the way, speaking of that, you guys heard that they're bringing back Armageddon?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I didn't hear that.
So Armageddon is going to be out. That's they usually have some sort of traditional pay-per-view in between Mania and Royal Rumble. Usually it's Elimination Chamber, or they'll do Roadblock. You remember that one?
Right.
Supposedly Armageddon's coming back, I think February.
Armageddon holds a special place in my heart. Armageddon '99 was the first ever pay-per-view I saw.
Is that the one with the 6-man Hell in a Cell?
No, that's 2001. 99 was get your facts straight, Quincy. 99.
That's why I asked.
99 was
a question, not a statement.
Was Vince McMahon versus Triple H, and then Stephanie became a heel, and she screwed over her dad.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wait, let me.
That explains why I like that type of wrestling, right? Like the dramatic storyline wrestling.
So is Elimination Chamber in March?
I don't know if they're doing it. I mean, they could.
They might not have the setup for that, huh?
Oh shit! I don't know. I mean, it's weird because I was thinking how they're gonna. I mean, you know, they're gonna do the Royal Rumble with 30 people in the ring, and they got to get all of them tested.
Right. Uh, I actually think it would be really cool if like it became a tradition that Armageddon was either right after Mania, because that's when like the season ends. Like
It
Armageddon.
used to be at the end of the year before.
Yeah,
They
Armageddon
started
is a
yeah.
December pay-per-view.
Yeah, I remember that.
Armageddon is a
Right.
December
Because I
pay-per-view.
remember what's his name brought it. Was it Eric Bischoff that introduced it or something like that?
Mhm.
I just remember him being, or was it New Year's Revolution? Man, that's what I'm thinking about. That old school one.
But I was gonna say, like, because if it's not gonna be in December, it'd be really cool if it was like the pay-per-view before Mania, because it's basically saying this is the end of the season of.
Yeah.
Or if it's at the end, like the month after Mania, saying like we're gonna do all the bullshit rematches in this one, but then we're gonna start fresh after this kind of thing. Like that's.
By the way,
is.
did you know that in Germany they refer to the Elimination Chamber is not called the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
No, it's not. You can't call it elimination.
It's called No Escape.
No Escape.
Yeah.
Why can't they call it elimination chamber?
I think it has something to do with like Final Solution type.
Judaism.
Yeah, something like that.
I think the word chamber in Germany doesn't go over too well.
Yeah, something about the Holocaust.
Something Holocaust related, you know. Yeah, I'm looking to see when Elimination Chamber was in March.
I think the Elimination Chamber is a very important pay-per-view.
I love it. That's one of my
way.
favorites but I mean I think they should only do it once a year. I mean, like they don't need to pimp it out like the Hell in a Cell. Like there's like 3 fucking Hell.
They don't need to call it the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They could just do the Armageddon with the Elimination Chamber there.
Especially with it's like, dude, that match is like one of their most brutal.
I like it because if you're disappointed in the Royal Rumble, you could always be like, you know what, at least Elimination Chamber's coming up and we'll see what happens.
No lie, dude. Like I think it was 2016, 2017, the one that Bray Wyatt won. That was a really good one because that was the first time they changed the whole setup because like John Cena fell off one of the chambers and you see it's like all padded where he fell, but he's like still.
Or the Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan SmackDown one before Kofi Kingston had a shot at Daniel Bryan at Mania. That elimination.
Oh, I remember that one.
Too. Yeah,
I just remember the one with Bray Wyatt. It was one of those ones where like when the champion loses and there's still 3 people left in the ring, you're like, oh shit, there's a guaranteed new champ.
Yeah,
that's when it gets exciting. But like,
and then we had the triple threat match, I think in Anaheim, the following SmackDown. And that's the one we were all at?
Yeah. That was Bray
Wyatt, AJ Styles, and John Cena. It was great. Yeah.
I remember that.
So
yeah.
good. That was so good.
That was for free TV. Yeah,
that might be possibly the best match I've ever seen in person.
Well, that's the best Valentine's Day I've ever had.
You got it.
And I was there.
You gotta go watch the Young Bucks live, my friends. That'd be the one. But
yeah, I'm sure it would be.
But you know what? We had a good show, man.
Great show. I
want to thank both you guys. Wish you guys both very healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year's. Obviously, leading into 2021. May your bank account be double and your stomach never empty. All right.
I thought you were going to say stomach double. Thank God you didn't say that because I'm already pushing.
Oh no, bro. I mean, I know you're over there. Try not to trespass while you're on your hikes and stuff.
Man. You know me doing my thing, man.
I'll be watching, bro. But
man, I'll be out here, man. I go about 3 times a week. Me and my boy Adrian on the knobs. Congratulations, Adrian Zanon. You got his first platinum plaque Engineering Tigers album, man. That's dope. That's the American dream, man.
No, we
little naughty fat kid that moved from Tucson and now he's getting platinum plaques, hanging out with Young Baka, man. Doesn't get any better than that.
It's based on that character development we did on the brand split.
100%, man.
Well, that's that long-term booking, brother.
A long-term booking. Look at it now.
Yeah. But no, shout out to everyone that's always supporting us, checking us out, listening to us on the Young Baka Podcast Productions Network. I definitely want to, let you guys know you can follow us everywhere you can on social media. That is the Flow Wrestling Pod on Twitter and Flow Wrestling Show on Instagram. And feel free to hit us up, the Flow Wrestling Show @gmail.com. Possibly about being a guest. Maybe you guys want to be a sponsor for the show. Hey, we're down to throw some, help you guys promote if it's dope. But it got to have the YPB tattoo on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want Brian to get your logo tattooed on him, he'll do it.
Oh no.
I would get some of these logo tattooed for the right price.
We
just tattoos, man. It's just tattoos.
We should start a GoFundMe. We need to fund a viral battle between Crazy K against Jody High Roller. bar for bar. You know what I'm saying?
Bar for bar.
Bar for bar. Yeah. I want to see it. Let's get crazy. No, but I love you guys, man. I definitely was great to get you guys back this week. I know we took a couple weeks off for the holidays and stuff like that, but follow me at the Quincy Jones Show everywhere, as well as follow Young Baka Productions, and of course follow the Awkward Side Hug. And don't forget to hit up Brian Andrew and congratulate him. God damn it!
Yeah, man, it's big.
He's a married man, and he could use the support.
Yeah, all the support he can get.
Shout out to everyone again. I guess we'll have to see what's up for next week, man. Hopefully, I believe we're going to have Mac Lowe coming on next week. Be the first Mac Lowe appearance of 2021. So look out for that.
Dope. And rest in peace, Brodie Lee. And
yeah, rest in peace, Brodie Lee. 100%, man.
I don't have them on top of my head, but I know Pro Wrestling Tees has stuff where you could like buy Brodie Lee's stuff, and then the proceeds go to their family and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know that they have a tribute shirt going on. Quite a few people got a tribute shirt. Colin and Elbow made a shirt. EC3 actually made a tribute shirt. There's quite a few different people, but, you know, all the same intentions. So, I mean, yeah.
The Brodie Lee tribute T-shirt's the best-selling T-shirt of all time at ProWrestlingTees.com.
Damn, so Sting's like...
Yeah, he just got it too. Sting just got it too.
Do you think Sting's upset? Like,
Sting's upset.
Sting's like, damn, I only had 3 days left in New Year.
Man, shit.
Sting's like, what the? I don't even know who this guy is. What's going on?
100% Sting doesn't know who he is. 100%.
Shout out to
100%.
Shout out to everyone doing something special for the Hoover family. Shout out to the Hoover family, Brodie Lee Jr., -1. Shout out to everyone that's doing something great for pro wrestling.
Oh, can I have a question? Because you might know the answer to this.
Yeah.
And we'll just do this on real quick. Is -1 and -1 both his son's name, or did Tony Khan mess up the name during the title thing?
Tony Khan
or is -1 the other son's name?
Tony Khan should never have a fucking mic in his hand. That's what it is.
I'm just curious because I've heard -1 actually said more than once. Actually,
yeah, I heard -1. I heard -1. I'm trying to figure out why is it negative or -1 if his dad's the exalted one. Like he should be just the exalted son, right?
Ooh, there you go. Look at that, Quincy.
But there's 2 of them, so I guess you got to, you know, I'm a twin. I know how it is.
You
can't give one Batman and the other Robin. You got to give them both Batman. You know what I mean?
We all know. Hopefully, they're still on TNT though. But when like 10 years comes down the line and we hear Brodie Lee's music play and his son comes out with the original TNT championship, that's gonna be nuts.
And he orders it up to whoever's the champion. Oh, it's 10 years from now.
And his mask actually fixes him. Oh,
yeah,
shit. That's gonna be. He's gonna be all jacked and shit. It's gonna be him and 10. It's gonna be him and 10 and like, oh yeah. No, I mean it's weird because, dude, I'm already old. I mean, I'm 35, man. This guy was 6 years older than me. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like it
gotta take care of yourself, man.
A lot of things.
Gotta take care of yourself,
man. You know,
and he was in good shape.
I was gonna say he's a professional wrestler. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, will I be watching wrestling for another 10 years? I guarantee it. But like, will I watch it now specifically to figure out if Brodie Lee Jr. is going to actually land? Yeah, and see how it's like. It's like, yo, you want to get married? No, I got plans the next.
Yeah, I got plans.
I gotta wait for Brodie Lee to come back.
I gotta see how this plays out.
Yeah.
I gotta see how this plays out. But yeah, you know what? Shout out in memorandum and sweet memories of Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, John Hoover, however you remember him. This has been the Flow Show for the Love of Wrestling. We'll catch you guys next week. Yeah.
Later.